Good morning. I now ask that the meeting please come to order. I'd like to begin the meeting by thanking everyone for joining us this morning. While we had hoped to be together in person at Lansdowne Resort, we are excited to meet today virtually. While in this virtual environment, a few elements of the meeting will be accomplished differently than they did when we met in person. We kindly ask for your understanding as this is still new to us all. Please listen closely to a couple of important housekeeping items that will assist us in conducting this meeting. As Christine and John Gould have already mentioned, attendance will be recorded for today's meeting by individuals entering their full name and PGA ID number in the chat. If you have not done so already, please enter this information now. In order to receive MSR credits for today's meeting, you must enter this information within the next 30 minutes. While we will conduct a roll call of the section board of directors later in the meeting, only the officers will reply verbally. The rest can reply in the chat and will also be recorded via the registration check-in process. On the screen, you will see your officers and others that will be presenting during today's meeting. While you will be able to see and hear them, we won't be able to see or hear you. If you have any questions or comments, those should be entered into the chat feature. This will include open forum items. In order to make this call more like a meeting and less like streaming television, we encourage you to use the chat feature. This will help the meeting be more interactive, so please ask questions, make comments. Executive Director John Gould will be serving as the moderator and will be reading your questions or comments if possible. If we happen to miss your questions or comments during the live meeting, we will be sure to follow up with you directly. Before we play the national anthem, I'd like to remind the audience that any former member of the military, whether active or reserve, enjoys the privilege of saluting the flag, just as they did when serving this great nation. Wherever you are joining this meeting, would you please rise in place for our national anthem? Thank you. I have now asked Vice President Andy Weisinger to offer this morning's invocation.
Good morning, let's pray. Dear Father in heaven, we thank you for this chance we have to gather virtually. Thank you for allowing us to serve in such a wonderful occupation and career that we all love so much, the great game of golf. Lord, thank you that we have the opportunity to help improve others' lives through the enjoyment brought about by this great game. We want to say a prayer for our military, our first responders, our healthcare workers, and our fellow professionals. Lord, may we all have a great season, great meeting today, and just your blessings throughout the year. Again, thank you for this opportunity. And we pray in Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Andy. Mr. Cedric Bailey, Assistant PGA Professional at the Country Club of Maryland, will serve as Sergeant at Arms. Mr. Bailey will ensure everyone in attendance remains in order in accordance with section policy. I also ask that you ensure via the chat that the staff closes the meeting registration 30 minutes after I call this meeting to order. While difficult in a virtual meeting, I would also like to ask everyone present to please make sure that you remain focused on the meeting so that you don't miss any important information. Mr. Kevin Taylor, the PGA head professional at Argyle Country Club, will serve as parliamentarian.
Good morning. You have already been provided with the agenda for today's meeting. As usual, the meeting will be conducted in accordance with the MAPGA and the PGA of America bylaws, Robert's Rules of Order, insofar as possible. New business items must be submitted in writing in the chat to the secretary before the new business segment is reached on the agenda. Only questions or topics submitted in writing will be addressed during this session. During the open forum session near the end of the meeting, any member may enter information into the chat. Executive Director Gould will read the open forum information into the meeting. However, no official business may be transacted during the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Next, Secretary Hunter, would you please conduct a roll call?
Good morning. Thank you everyone for joining us today. I'm going to conduct a roll call, and if you're out there in the audience and I call your name, just go ahead and type here into the chat. And those of you in the room here can answer in person. President Joshua Tremblay.
Here.
Vice President Andy Weisinger.
Here.
Secretary Lynn Hunter. Here. Director at Large Jeff Montross. Honorary President J.P. Lunn.
Here.
A8 Director and Central Chapter Director at Large Eli Morales. Tournament Committee Chair and Southern Chapter Secretary Kevin Haney. Northern Chapter President Mark Russo. Northern Chapter Vice President Eric Brock. Northern Chapter Secretary Brian Dix. And Northern Chapter Director at Large Sean English. Central Chapter President Jay Duffy. Central Chapter Vice President and Secretary John Oberly. Southern Chapter President Dan Capozzi. Southern Chapter Vice President Scott Graber. Southern Chapter Director at Large Brian Liebler. In the Board of Control, our Chair Matthew Schulze. Board of Control and our District 10 Director John Madden.
Here.
Board of Control John Malinowski. Kevin Taylor. Paul McCallion. Robert Dolan. Alan Ranowski. Michael Arnsbrack. Robert Fretwell. Wayne Hawley. James Folks. Our legal counsel, Stephen Nemiroff. And our executive director, John Gould.
Here.
PGA professionals dedicate their lives to serving their members and customers and to promoting the great game of golf. While newly elected members join our ranks, we also lose many colleagues each year. I ask that we all include in our thoughts and prayers any MAPGA members and apprentices and family members that may be ill or otherwise suffering. I now ask for a moment of silent meditation for those beloved Mid-Atlantic PGA professionals who have died since our last membership meeting. Hank Lee Majeski, PGA, past section president and Hall of Famer, formerly of Wakefield Valley Golf Club in the Northern Chapter. Eric Suvak, PGA, formerly of Hudson Golf in the Southern Chapter. Daniel B. Horn, PGA, formerly of Stonewall Golf Club and Everybody Golf School at Oakmar in the Central Chapter. And Troy Beck, MAPGA, class of 2021 Hall of Fame member, formerly of Glendale Golf Club and in the Northern Chapter. Thank you very much.
Mid-Atlantic PGA would not be able to do everything we do without the support we get from our sponsors. From tournaments to educational events to providing product, our sponsors support the MAPGA in order to grow their businesses within our section. As you start your season, please consider reaching out to our sponsors and inviting them into your golf shop to make a presentation. While we never try to tell you what to buy, likewise, we never promise any sales to our sponsors. We would like to do everything we can to help our sponsors as they help us. If you ever want to check to see if a company is a sponsor and find out which companies support the MAPGA, a current list can always be found on mapga.com under the Corporate Sponsors tab. At this time, I'd like to introduce our sponsors for today's meeting. We have with us Seth Schmidt, the president of the Trade-In Guys. He's also joined by their marketing coordinator, Phil Rinthaluke. They will share some remarks and will answer some questions following their presentation. If you have any questions, please enter them into the chat, and Executive Director Gould will read them along with others that have already been received.
Good morning. Am I up, John?
Yes, you are. Go ahead, Seth.
Okay, great. Hi, everybody. Just first of all, thank you for welcoming our organization as a new sponsor with the MAPGA. We feel it's a privilege to work with the organization, and with that, we'll respect your time right now. I'll take about 2 or 3 minutes, kind of explain what we do and why we're involved with the organization, and then give you guys 2 or 3 minutes to ask some questions if there are questions. So essentially, I'm with the Trade-In Guys. May or may not have heard of us, but we conduct turnkey trade-in events at golf shops, country clubs, and bicycle shops, which is why our logo has some bicycles in it. We got into the golf business about 8 months ago, and we've already done some of these events at some of the members' clubs, like at Hermitage Country Club here in Richmond, where we're based. We're going back there for a second event in a couple of months. And then we've done some of the other clubs in Richmond, and we've actually got events coming up at Argyle and at Kenwood, hopefully, with Lynn. So anyway, that's who we are and what we do. The reason we do these events is to help your business. So it'll drive pro shop sales, because when we come to do a trade-in event, we buy your members' golf clubs and we pay them with store credit to your pro shop. So we don't pay cash for their clubs. It engages your members, so something for them to do with the club. It's a value add service. They enjoy it because they get to clean out their garage, get rid of the clubs they're not using anymore, and then also get a fair value. So the way our company values their clubs is we use the PGA's value guide for used golf clubs, and whatever the PGA value guide says is exactly what we pay for those clubs. So it's a great value add service, and it's a fair price they get. We turnkey these events, so it's business as usual at the club when we're there. We usually bring 1 to 2 staff people. We provide marketing materials in advance, so we have posters and postcards and flyers and the like. We also help you with an email template, so you can send out email and let your customers know that we're coming. In terms of the logistics, we take all the clubs away with us at the end of the event and leave your members with spending power at the pro shop. And a lot of these members are going to make purchases they might not otherwise make. So, we see a lot of the impulse items, golf bags, licensed merchandise, apparel, shoes, things like this. We don't see a whole lot of people trading in their current bag of clubs to buy new clubs. That does happen, but in most cases, it's people just the clubs, they got new clubs last year or this year, and they're just getting rid of the old clubs. So it's a great win-win for everybody. I will say, if you're interested in maybe finding out about hosting an event and having us come out there and turnkey it for you, We are booking for the next 4 or 5 months right at this time. We're just about to hit spring here, so it'll be great. And you can just contact me. We have a kind of a qualification to make sure that you're going to be a good course for the event. We're going to be a good fit for you. So we'll have a conversation, make sure it makes sense for everybody, and then we'll schedule an event with you for some dates that work. Typically a 1-day to 2-day event format is what we do. So with that, I'll kind of shut up. If anybody has questions, I'm just looking in the box here.
The first question came from Steve Bosdosh. He said, what's the typical time frame? I assume that means lead time to get you guys out there.
Sure. So the typical time frame, we need a minimum of about 10 days. So it can happen pretty quickly. Optimally, we like 3 or 4 weeks in advance to know we're coming out there. And in a perfect world, we can schedule months out so that it works into your overall calendar. In terms of actual execution of the marketing, it's about a 10-day to 2-week marketing lead time to let people know that the event is coming up. So pretty quick. And then the typical event lasts 1 to 2 days.
Excellent. This question is from Josh here in the office. Does it cost anything as a golf club to have you guys out there for a trade-in event?
Oh, thanks, Josh. No, we don't charge anything to our participating hosts. So we reimburse you for all the Pro Shop credits issued. Typical event is going to issue anywhere from $5,000 to about $20,000. We've had some events go over $20,000 in terms of how much Pro Shop credit is issued during that 1 to 2 day event. And then we reimburse you 100% for those credits that you issue.
Thank you. Another from the chat. This is a sale, I think. Carl Coons from Fredericksburg Country Club said his head professional, Brian Walker, will be in touch soon. So that's good.
Thank you.
Another question. What do you all look for from the trading guys' perspective? What do you look for in the club to determine if the club is qualified to host an event?
Sure. So there's no hard and fast rule, but we like to have a discussion, number of members, private versus semi-private versus public, gated community, resort destination, number of rounds, membership dues, all these things will kind of help us predict, okay, hey, we'll come out there, but let's do a 1-day event as opposed to a 2-day event, or hey, you guys meet all the killer criteria, let's do a 2-day event. We'll bring 2 staff members minimum, maybe even 3. So it helps us plan the events. Fully public, open to the public courses, we have not frankly had success with that model. Just harder to communicate the event to those customers of those courses. So we just like to have a discussion to figure everything out.
So the more captive the audience, like a private membership, the better, probably, I would guess.
Yeah, absolutely. The private clubs are doing very well. We just had a $20,000 event in North Carolina and a $25,000 event in North Carolina just this past weekend. So we have multiple crews that go out. So we did, let's see, 1, 2, 3. We did 4 events just this past weekend that just finished.
All right, Seth, another question from the chat. In prep for the event, is there a list of clubs or years of clubs? And then a second one, do you collect other items like shoes or golf bags?
Oh, good questions. Yes, we collect some other items. So golf bags for sure. Shoes, if they're new with tags or if they're extremely lightly worn, we can take those. People have bags of golf balls that they just want to get rid of, things like that. In terms of golf clubs that we accept, we will accept and haul away anyone's clubs that they don't want if they're not in the PGA value guide. If they're not in PGA's value guide, unfortunately, we cannot offer value for those clubs. But in most cases, those folks just want to make sure the golf clubs just don't end up in a landfill. For those curious, PGA value guide goes down to about $6, I believe. So if a club's worth $6 or more, it'd be in their guide. It's pretty comprehensive.
Okay, thank you. I guess one question: how does your system work? What do you do with the clubs after you pay for them all to the members and given the credit to the pro shop?
That's great. Well, that's what's great about this program. What allows us to come out and turnkey these events, provide the service and all that is we resell the clubs. So we find them a good new home, keep them out of the landfill. We're pretty big online. We don't have a pro shop. We're not competing with your retail sales. We're selling a lot on eBay, and also our website is being rebranded right now. Right now, you can find our golf clubs on thebicycleguys.com, which is kind of funny. So we're having a new website built named TBD to sell those golf clubs.
All right, well, thanks very much, Seth. Don't see any other questions here, but we really appreciate you being involved with the section. We're looking forward to having some great event dates for you guys to help our clubs, and especially, get their members and guests to clear out their garage, as you said, and make some money at the pro shop level as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again, John. And y'all have a good conference. I'll have you in a small box on the side here for the next few hours. Thanks again.
Thanks, Seth.
Thank you, Seth and Phil. And I know I'm looking forward to, I'm having the trading guys out to Springfield in a few weeks, I think March 19th and 20th. They were very easy to deal with in terms of talking to and getting this up and running, and got some marketing materials ready to go for next week to send out to the membership just to start promoting that. So thank you for your sponsorship of the section. It is now my pleasure to introduce today's special guest, two-time Daytona 500 champion, former NASCAR Cup Series driver and team owner, who serves as an analyst for Fox's NASCAR coverage, Michael Waltrip. Mr. Waltrip, we're so glad to have you join us today. We look forward to you sharing more about the 20th anniversary of your first Daytona win and your love of golf. Fellow PGA member and teaching professional at Hermitage Country Club, Brian Jackson, was the one who was able to secure Michael for this meeting. Brian is going to ask Michael some questions, and afterwards, he has also graciously agreed to answer questions from attendees. So please enter those into the chat. Brian, take it away.
Thanks, Josh. Just wanted to welcome Michael again. Thank you for taking some time to talk to all the Mid-Atlantic PGA professionals. Very basically, how'd you get into golf? What's your favorite passion about golf? What draws you to it? And if there are any crossovers from you being a championship winning driver to golf, anything to tie in there?
Just desire to win. You play your buddies, you want to be the best. You want to be able to take $2 after the game's over instead of giving money away. So we have a pretty good group of guys, and we enjoy playing and betting a little bit. And just the burning desire to win is still there for me. And even if I'm playing with people that we don't bet, we're just out having a good time and playing golf, I still try to beat myself. Like, I want to do better every time I play. Unfortunately, it usually it doesn't go like I hope a lot. And while that's frustrating, it makes me appreciate people like you who shot a little 67 on us the other day, and watching people that have the game figured out or think they have it figured out at times. And we know what a moving target figuring golf out is. So I love being outside. I've been in Florida for a while, and I've golfed about every day. And, racing is something that I'll always love. I can't wait for the races to come on TV or be a part of the TV broadcast. But getting to play and getting to play golf and compete in that genre is something that I love as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know. Obviously, we all share a passion for golf, and it's cool to see somebody just as passionate. I will say, Mike logged, I think, 170 some rounds in your GIN last year, 2 years ago, to show you the passion he has for it. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'll definitely tee it up. I do it as much as I can. I use it for exercise too. I usually get a cart for pace of play, but I'll run to my ball and mess around like that. Just try to get in better shape. And I've had lessons. I've had some great professionals help me try to get better at golf. And I hit it at times. I shot a 77 the other day, and then played at a course down here in Florida and shot 106. So somewhere in between those 30 shots is where my game lies.
So not many people know about you is you are a New York Times best-selling author. And talk to us a little bit about the book, Blink of an Eye, and then how it developed into a award-winning documentary.
Yeah, the book was something that I really needed to do. It was 10 years after we won the 500, and unfortunately, my friend Dale Earnhardt got killed on the last lap of that race, and I've been living with that since then, and I live with it every day, whether it was the 10-year anniversary or 20. It's just part of my life. But told the story in the book, and it was really cool writing the book with my co-writer Ellis Hennigan. It made the best-selling New York Times best-selling list, like you said. And Monster Energy, the marketing guy at Monster, liked the book so much, he said, "We got to make this into a documentary." So Monster paid for it. We made it, and it's done really well. It's on Netflix, or not Netflix. It's on Google Play and iTunes, and you can find it just about anywhere on the internet. And the really cool thing is Fox Sports 1, sometime in March, the date hasn't been exactly settled yet, they're going to show the documentary on Fox Sports 1. So it'll be on FS1 sometime this month. And just recently, Sony Pictures optioned it to make it into a feature film, a motion picture. So I don't know who's going to play me or what it's going to look like when Hollywood gets a hold of it, but it's pretty good. It's pretty. It's a story of friendship and determination. So it's quite the story.
That's awesome. Now you go from book writing and everything. So how did you get into golf? I mean, when did you say, hey, you got invited out for a tee time and you went to play? And tell us a little bit about how you got into golf your first time.
I remember as a 12-year-old riding my bicycle with 3 or 4 clubs on the handlebars, holding them on the handlebars to go to our local course, Ben Hawes State Park in Owensboro, Kentucky. And that grew into getting to play with my dad some at Windridge Country Club in Owensboro. And that sort of started for me. Me and my dad have some great memories of golfing together. And I remember one of his final rounds before he passed, it started raining. And Dad said, I said, "Dad, you want to go in?" He said, "No, son, let's just let it rain on us. It feels really good." And so anytime I golf and it rains, it reminds me of my dad. And I'm usually the one that says, "Nah, let's keep playing. It feels pretty good." And golf has just always been a part of me. And it wasn't until like the last couple of years that, I play all the time. Got my handicap down to about a 9 once, and I noticed I was giving myself a lot of putts, and I was cheating the system the wrong way. And now I'm a legitimate 13-1 or something. But I'm always hopeful that I'm gonna learn something from a professional or somebody that's gonna make me better. So I keep trying.
Hey,
That's awesome.
Michael, we got a question from the chat here, if you don't mind. Debbie Bozdosh asked, does the putt that counts for a win get your heart rate up like driving fast does?
Not quite that much of a heart rate, I don't think, because I've never caught on fire after that. And if you wreck a race car, bad things happen sometimes. So I think it stays in perspective for me a bit like that. But I certainly have the competitive juices flowing. We played with Michael Jordan the other day, and just being with him made me nervous, because he's such a great champion. And being with him certainly got my attention, and my heart rate did go up. And I was a little bit shaky over some putts, but still we had a lot of fun.
That's great. Talk to us a little bit about, I know as PGA professionals, the networking side of it, and you are a race winning team. You started and developed from scratch, one of Toyota's first ventures into NASCAR, which is a huge honor. Talk to us a little bit about, the business side of it. I know as PGA professionals, we see it happen every day with networking. I think it's a great tool. We can talk to anybody about golf. Like you said, you got to play with Michael Jordan on a golf course. How cool is that? Talk to us a little about maybe some cool people you've gotten to play with and how you can relate it to networking and business side.
Well, the golf course, and like the racetrack nowadays, we learned how important B2B is in the world of NASCAR. You know, if you've got a sponsor like Napa Auto Parts and you have a manufacturer like Toyota, you need to get them together to see what synergies they might have. And a lot of times you do the same things on the golf course where you meet someone that works in the field that you're in or has a way for you to have something in common in that world. So I look at it as a great opportunity to do just what you said at times. Most of the times it's just for fun, but sometimes we network and try to figure out exactly what all's going on in our worlds.
That's great.
Brian, I've got a few more questions from the.
Yeah, go for it, John.
First of all, if you could give the name of your book again, someone was interested in that, and also your favorite course to play, Michael. I know he's moving. Looks like he's moving to a different location for quiet.
He is. Michael's on the move. I'll tell you what happened. I'm at a hotel room, and the Wi-Fi wouldn't pick up. So then I came to the office, and that was going well. And about 9 people just walked in there, and they're talking to each other. So I'm now going to go to this corner right here and answer that question.
We appreciate it. Name of the book and your favorite course to play.
Yes, sir. So I'm in Daytona. It's a beautiful day, by the way. And I love playing a little course called Oceanside in Ormond Beach. That's a fun place to play. My ultimate destination in America to go play golf is Pebble Beach, where you can play all those great courses 2 a day at times. I guess Pebble Beach, probably Pebble Beach, Monterey Peninsula Country Club. That's just recently been redone. And that's probably my favorite course, but I love playing Pebble Beach with the history and all that's there. And then also in North Carolina, Diamond Creek up in the mountains is a beautiful course. So I've gotten to play Augusta. I've gotten to play a lot of cool places, but on a day-to-day basis, you're not gonna beat my home course, the Peninsula Club. I got a bunch of friends that we play together there. But overall, it just depends on what part of the world I'm in and what part of the country I'm in, which my favorite course is, because I love it. I love it so much. I got to play Michael Jordan's course down in Jupiter. That's pretty fun. Then the name of the book is In the Blink of an Eye. And that's the name of the documentary as well that you'll see on FS1. And eventually, hopefully it'll be on the big screen, whatever that might look like. When I wrote the book, it was pretty interesting because it was me and my co-author. And I told him everything that happened and he wrote it down and we worked on it together, and that was the book. When Monster said we want to do a documentary and we got to interview everybody from Dale Jr. to Daryl Waltrip to Richard Petty, me and the co-author, he called me up and he said, you sure you told all those stories correctly, right? Because now they're going to have to retell them. And the thing I'm most proud of the doc is, just like people completing each other's sentences. We all had the same memories, and so I think that's why it's so special to me.
That's awesome. Brian, I got a few more, if that's all right.
Roll, John.
All right, from Greg Stenzel. He wants to know how competitive you and Daryl were growing up, both driving and commentating.
Well, not very, because, when I was born, he was 16. So he was just off being a race car driver. And I was a kid that got on his nerves, I think, hanging on the fence, wanting to get some autographs from him so I could sell them to the kids at school, crazy things like that. And then as I got to my point in my career where I was very competitive in winter races, he was on the back end of his career. So we've never been very competitive. And when we golf, we just golf for the fun of it. He's liable to drop a ball out of his sock on you in about 2 seconds. He doesn't really care about keeping the score. He just wants to be out there playing.
Awesome.
I told him one good Daryl story. I called him the other day and I said, "How you doing, Doug?" All that, blah, blah, blah. And I said, "How's golf?" He said, "I've gotten better. I said, what's going on?" He said, "I'm just putting a lot better." I said, "Well, what's different?" He said, "Well, I play with these old guys. They give you everything." So really helped us.
It definitely helps the score for sure. All right, another question from our pros, from Steve Bosdosh. In your opinion, what are some key qualities and traits needed to win to be a champion?
Well, in my case, the key to everything I've ever done is determination and not giving up. You have to be persistent. And if you read the book, you'll see that my face might be by the word persistent as a definition because of all that I had to do to get where I went and was going or hoping to get. And in golf, I don't think it's a whole lot different. You have to, like me, again, you know, I'm sure something's going to click one day, and those rounds that I have that are magical will live with me every day. I'm just not sure when, but that's my belief. But I think you know, you got to have heart, you got to have desire, but I think mainly determination and just don't give up, be persistent, stay right after it. And if it, you know, I'll tell you another story about me. I don't like talking about me, but what do y'all think about me? Well, since I'm on here, I guess I will talk about me. I ran 4 marathons, 26-mile marathons, just because I wanted to be a better race car driver. I wanted to make sure I knew in my mind that they might outrun me, but they wasn't going to outlast me. And I wanted them to know that as well. And I think that was one of the kind of when the fitness thing started. Now all those drivers are in the gym and work out and have all these physio trainers and things. But that was back in the 90s when I started doing that, just because I wanted to be a better racer.
Awesome. One more question from the chat here from Scott Davis, who said he's a huge NASCAR fan and huge fan of you. What would mean more if you were able to shoot even par or a NASCAR victory?
Me.
Yeah, you.
I can shoot even par when I'm 80, but if I'm gonna win another NASCAR race, it's gonna have to be now. So, and plus, I think it would mean another. You know, I came so close when I was running part-time in NASCAR at the end of my career to winning, and I never could quite pull it off. So, having another victory would be awesome. I'm going racing this summer. Tony Stewart started and Ray Evernham, former racing crew chief, they started a short track series. It's 6 weeks in July, where we're going to run 6 different short tracks. And it's a bunch of retired older fellers like myself. Bill Elliott's going to do it, Bobby Labonte, Tony Stewart, Willie T. Ribbs, just a bunch of guys that are going to go racing.
Great. Brian, back to you.
Yeah, Mike. No, I just want to appreciate you coming on and taking a little time. I know you're down there golfing. I just got back from Florida with you, so I'm stuck in a hotel room in Charlotte. My flight just got delayed, so appreciate you taking just a couple minutes to talk to everybody. And yeah, enjoy the warm weather. Don't come back north yet.
Here you go. I just wanted all those folks that are in the winter lands to see some sunny skies and blue ocean. Sorry, I wasn't in my office with a proper setting, but it's a beautiful day, and I appreciate all your interest in NASCAR and golf, and let me spend some time with you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, buddy.
We really appreciate you coming on today.
All righty. Bye-bye.
All right, that was a lot of fun. Next, I'd like to introduce and welcome a few guests who are with us today. They will all speak later in the meeting. PGA of America Secretary Don Ray. Mr. Ray is the general manager at Augusta Ranch Golf Club in Mesa, Arizona. Our career consultant, Greg Stenzel. Our PGA Junior League Regional Manager, Doug Wirt. And our representative on the National Board of Directors, District 10 Director John Madden from the Riverbend Club in Great Falls, Virginia. And while they are not guests, it pleases me to introduce to you those members of the Mid-Atlantic PGA Hall of Fame who could be logged into the meeting today. Mike Arnsbrack, Tom Barry, Wayne DeFrancisco, Woody Fitzhugh, Jim Folks, Fred Funk, Vinnie Giles, John Haynes, Frank Karelko, Wayne Holly, Larry Ringer, Herb Rose, Bill Sporey, Curtis Strange, and Alan Ornowski. Now everybody's favorite part. We still have to do this even in a virtual sense. So a couple, we'll see if you're still awake over there and alive in the chat feature. Since the minutes have been previously published and made available to the membership, I will entertain a motion from the floor to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the November 9th, 2020 fall meeting of the membership. Do I have a motion? If so, please enter your full name in the chat. Brian Dix, thank you. Do I have a second? If so, please enter your full name in the chat.
You do.
Okay. If you're in favor, you do not need to enter anything. All opposed, enter your full name and nay in the chat. Seeing none, the motion passes. Regarding our board meeting, since the minutes have been previously published and made available to the membership, I will entertain a motion from the floor to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the section Board of Directors meetings conducted on January 14th and February 11th. Do I have a motion? If so, please enter your full name in the chat.
Yes, Tim MacArthur.
Thank you, Tim. Do I have a second? If so, please enter your name. Michael Thomas, thank you. If you're in favor, again, you do not need to enter anything. All opposed, please enter your full name and nay in the chat. Seeing none, the motion passes. Secretary Hunter, would you please introduce our newest members?
Okay, well, since our last membership meeting, I'm excited to announce that 10 professionals have earned their PGA membership within the MAPGA. Josh Apple from Raspberry Falls Golf and Hunt Club. Morgan Bowen, Congressional Country Club. Cole Jordan, Baltimore Country Club. Mark Lynch, First Tee of Richmond. Nick Osterman, Hillendale Country Club. Wesley Samuel, Forest Park Golf Course. Justin Schaller, Turf Valley Resort. Matthew Schneider, Bretton Woods Recreation Center. Gage Teft, Robert Trent Jones Golf Club. And Michael Van Scherel from Caves Valley Golf Club. Please help me welcome all the newest members of the Middle Atlantic section. The following members have achieved certified professional status since the spring membership meeting. Paul Maurer from Teaching and Coaching. Congratulations, Paul. And lastly, the following members have earned their quarter century status since the last meeting. Peter Bowman, life member. Kelly Crovo, Old Monterey Golf Course. Clifton Easom, Rick Flowers from Rocky Gap Casino Resort. Joe Franz at the Elkridge Club. Rodney Green, Country Club at Woodmore. Mark Kimenow, Talbot Country Club. James Mason from Pendleton Golf Club. Ann McClure, U.S. Naval Academy Golf Club. Robert Onoskow, I'm gonna mess this one up. Robert Onoskow, thank you. Sorry about that, Robert. Jay Perkins from the Golf Institute of Bel Air. Glenn Pierce, Heron Ridge Golf Club. Joe Reynes, Baltimore County Revenue Authority. Rick Schuler from Stonehenge Golf and Country Club. Rich Setter from Hogneck Golf Course. Joe Wallman and Warren West from the Country Club of Virginia. Congratulations to all of our members from the Quarter Century Club.
Thank you, Lynn. While on the subject of membership accomplishments, I'd like to give a shout out to Joanna Coe for qualifying for her 4th consecutive Kpmg Women's PGA Championship last week. Great job, Joanna. All right, we always talk about working together with our allied associations, showing that spirit of cooperation. Joining us today with a combined recorded update from the MSGA and the VSGA, our Maryland State Golf Association Executive Director and MAPGA member, Mr. Kelly Newland, and Virginia State Golf Association Executive Director, Matt Smiley. Please listen to their update.
Good morning, everyone. We're sorry we can't be with you this morning and look forward to be
being with you soon for a future MAPGA meeting. My name is Matt Smiley. I'm the Executive Director of the Virginia State Golf Association. And today I've got Kelly Newland, Executive Director of the Maryland State Golf Association with me. Past meetings, we've given separate updates with what's going on with the amateur golf associations, but Kelly and I were talking and thought it would make sense for us to come together as a lot of the topics overlap. So that's why we're here together. We're going to kind of have a conversation with what's going on with each association, and hopefully you'll find it worthwhile. Just for me, I'd like to start by congratulating Kelly on his new role as Executive Director with Maryland State Golf Association. I've worked with Bill Smith a lot and hate to see Bill go, but really looking forward to working with you moving forward. So congratulations.
Thank you very much, Matt. I'm excited for the new role. Bill's still involved. We still get to keep him for the Maryland Golf Hall of Fame, and I know we're going to see him at the events, and he's been a great mentor for me. But we've got a lot of changes that have happened over the last few months. We've got new staff members at the MSGA. Recently hired a new Director of Rules and Competitions, Lisa Hermes. She came from working for the Kpmg Women's Pga Championship in their volunteer department. Has a lot of rules of golf knowledge and tournament experience, and I'm excited to get her to introduce her to the PGA professionals at all these clubs and our players once we're able to get the season started. So that's going to be one of our big priorities for this year. James Hewitt, who most of you know, took over the Director of Handicapping and Course Rating position. So James is working hard for each of you on the GEN transition and getting all of our members set up with their new GEN accounts. We're also hiring a new manager of member services and tournaments, and that posting, the deadline for that is March 5th. So when you see this video, you may still have a couple days to apply, but I'll be working through those. So we've got a lot to look forward to. New staff members, our new interns starting in a couple months, and we're just excited to get the snow out of here and get the season started, basically.
Agree, totally agree. Same thing here in Virginia. The weather has not been as great in February as we would have hoped for. So I know there's a lot of pent-up demand with all the golf that was played last year. We're excited to have you guys on GEN. As we discussed, we made the change to GEN back in 2009. So feel free to reach out with any questions to us or any of the PGA professionals in Maryland. Reach out to their counterparts in Virginia. One note and a question that we've received a lot that I thought may be good for this group. Digital profile is a big thing that's going on for both associations and around the country. That's where golfers have to create a profile in order to post scores on gen.com or the Gen mobile app. So golfers have to have an email in their record, a unique email address. You'll get more questions, the pros will, about that. So just be prepared that those golfers will need to create those profiles to post scores through those two vehicles. Specific to Virginia, on the My VSGA app, you do not have to have a digital profile at this point to post scores, but that functionality will be added in the next couple of months. One question we've received, and Kelly, I figure you all will receive as well, is that digital profile is different than the profiles they may have for USGA Tournament Management or Golf Genius to register for association events. So we've had some folks asking us, and those are two different profiles, one for posting scores for handicap purposes and a separate one for tournament registration.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of requests about that recently, just the digital profile email in particular. Maybe your email address isn't correct in the system, or you need to update that. One thing for the pros, a lot of them have gone through our training that the USGA put together. We've had several calls this month teaching people how to use the admin side of things. And as you know, that's a pretty easy fix. You can just look someone up and update their email address and then click the green button to send them the digital profile email. So the club admins can actually do that. We're getting a lot of requests, and we're staying on top of those. And please always feel free to reach out to the MSGA if you have any questions for that. But know that as a club admin, you can handle those requests as well, and that's very helpful once you've logged in and learned the system. There's also a tools and resources tab inside GEN that I've found very useful when I have a question. That you can just use the search bar and find what you're looking for there. But again, we're always here to help, but the club admins can handle some of this as well.
I'm going to transition quickly to a brief recap of 2020 for the VSGA. And just want to preface that by saying anything that happened with golf in Virginia is a testament to the work that was done at the club level, both or by PGA professionals, club managers, superintendents. There was a lot of great work, adjustments made to longstanding practices, and any golf that was played was because of the work that was done. So thank you to PGA professionals for everything they did to make that happen. Happy to say here in Virginia, we actually had an increase of about 1,000 golfers with a handicap index from 2019 to 2020. So that's a great improvement. We haven't seen that number increase in a number of years, and it just goes to show the success of the game of golf in Virginia. Along those lines, rounds were up about 40% in Virginia. About 1.6 million scores were posted in 2020, which is again a 40% increase year over year. And as would be expected, we saw a big jump in the number of scores posted on an app, be it the Gen Mobile app or the My VSGA app versus the kiosk. Once we had COVID in play, a lot of the kiosks were not used, and app scores jumped from about 40% in previous years to almost 70% last year. So a definite shift in the way those scores were posted. One other new thing for us last year was our Net Amateur Championship. It was the first time we had run it, and it was very successful. Sold out. We had to turn a lot of players away. So I would encourage you, if you have some strong net players at your club, and you probably know who they are, to encourage them to register for that event early, because we anticipate it selling out again this year. And then the last kind of noteworthy thing from last year for us, and you'll see it in some change in messaging from the VSGA, is we are now a 501c3. We've been a 501c4 since we were incorporated, and we were granted 501c3 status in 2020. So big news there, and ties in with a lot of the new things we're doing for 21. How about with you guys, Kelly?
Congratulations on that 501c3 status. I know that's a big feather in your cap, and I'm sure you're happy to have that process complete. 2020 was busy. We thanked the pros in the last video, but we really can't say it enough. I mean, with rounds being as up as they are, and from 2020, and how many people were playing golf, for them to be able, for the head PGA professionals to be able to help us reschedule those events and give us new days and book events that were originally in the spring of 2020 and move those to the summer for us. It took a coordinated effort from so many different people. So thank you for helping us save our season. I'll say that. I mean, we couldn't have done it without all of those PGA professionals at those courses that we had scheduled. I know we're going to talk about Youth on Course as well. We saw our Youth on Course program really grow in 2020. We've got about 1,000 members signed up that play. Our subsidies are around $45,000 a year, so that was up about 64%. And we're expecting our Youth on Course program to continue to grow into this year. I will say I wanted to get a plug in for our auction. We have a Youth on Course auction coming up in a couple months, and thank you for all those that have helped put us, donated foursomes to those auctions, as well as equipment, different things that we can use in the auction to raise money to help support Youth on Course. But we're looking forward to seeing that program continue to grow, and for the kids to get out and play as much golf as they can this year.
Great. Yeah, that's certainly one of the big things on our radar here in Virginia for 2021 is Youth on Course. We partnered with Youth on Course late in 2020 and have really just started rolling it out in the first couple months of 2021. Still educating courses and golfers about what it entails. We've got about 25 courses onboarded to this point, and we're providing the membership as part of our junior golf circuit. It's an add-on to that membership, so any kid who joins our junior golf circuit will become a member of Youth on Course as well. And we've already got over 350 members, so we're kind of getting rolling with it. And if any courses are interested in participating, just reach out to myself or Matt Pachilli on our staff. But we're really excited about the impact it can have. We've talked with a number of associations, including Maryland, about what's involved with the program, and we're just excited to be rolling it out here in Virginia. So definitely that's a big thing for us this year. Another noteworthy item is the State Open of Virginia is moving back to Independence Golf Club in Richmond after a 7-year stint at Ballyhack. We're excited to bring it back. A lot of fun stuff planned for the event, some new variables, and we're working on some sponsors and hope to have some news in the near future about sponsorship for the State Open of Virginia. But a lot of good things happening with that event. Rules of golf and rules of handicapping education is something we're putting a lot of time into this time of the year, as we always do. So we're offering free webinars, alternating between rules of golf and rules of handicapping. We're about halfway through a 6-week window of doing those. So if you want to promote those to your clubs, please do so. They're free of charge, and information's on our website. We're also offering custom seminars, I'll call them, for member clubs at a date and time that they're interested in, limited to the members of that club. And then we'll also save the webinar so it can be redistributed to the membership through newsletters or through other means. So again, reach out if you have any questions on that. We're playing a little bit of catch up on course ratings after missing half the year last year. So we're going to try to get to about 55 or 60 clubs this year, which is 10 or 15 more than normal, to try to make up some ground. So if you're in line to be rated, you'll probably hear from Michael Walder, Tony Casiano on our staff for course ratings, but we're going to be busy with course ratings this year. And another priority for us is we've got some board turnover coming on the VSGA board of directors, and we're really looking for some new and diverse board members with different viewpoints and backgrounds to the game. So if there's someone at your club that you think would bring that to the table, please reach out to me. We're really looking to do that, and we've got an opportunity to fill some seats with new folks this year. So would love to hear from a few of you on that.
2021 is going to be busy. We're celebrating our 100th anniversary as an association. It also is our 100th Maryland Open, our 100th Maryland Amateur. The Maryland Open is going to be at BCC, which hosted the first Maryland Open back in 1921. So we're really excited to get to visit BCC again, Baltimore Country Club, to host the 100th. We're also doing some seminars and webinars. You've seen the different trainings for USGA TM and GEN. So that's really taken up most of our time the last month, is all those webinars and trainings we've done for those as well. But like I said, we're excited about our 21 schedule. A couple of noteworthy changes. Women pros, female pros are going to be able to play in our state team matches moving forward. And we've also added them to our Pro-Am that we host every year in the summer. So those are a couple changes to look out for. Registration is open right now for our men, for our state team matches. And that's always, Matt, one of the events that the pros and the members love playing in more than anything. It's the thing that, one of the ones that gets the most excitement is playing in our state team matches. So that's open now. If you'd like to play, it's open for another few days. So please let us know at the MSGA if you'd like to sign up for that.
Great. One more thing I'd like to add on our end, you got me thinking when you were talking about your 100 years, and I know that's going to be a busy and exciting year, a lot to celebrate. We're going to be taking our amateur championship to the Country Club of Petersburg this year. It's the 100th anniversary of that club, and we've worked closely with Kenny Clark for many years, and specifically with this event, with bringing it there to help them celebrate their 100th year of existence and also bring the best players in Virginia there. So we're really excited about being there in late June at the Country Club of Petersburg. That's all I have, Kelly. Anything else on your end?
No, I think we tried to keep this to 5 minutes. We may have not done a very good job, but we're excited to see each of you. Like Matt said earlier, we wish we could be in person, but hopefully these video messages will end one day and we'll get to see each other soon. So we'll see you out on the golf course, and we're excited for the season coming up.
Agreed. Look forward to being with everyone in person. Kelly, hope to see you soon, and look forward to working with you and the rest of your staff and the PGA professionals around Virginia to build off the momentum of 2020. Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Thank you to Kelly and Matt for their recorded message. If anyone has any questions for them, please email them directly. On the screen, you can see all of our committee chairs. I'd like to publicly thank them all for their hard work over the past year, especially with their adaptations to the pandemic. A few committee chairs would like to add some information to their published written reports. First, we are joined by video by AA Director Eli Morales to provide an APA update. Please watch.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning. A big thank you to our staff and section board for putting this meeting on again. Again, we could not get through 2020 without their support. As we move forward into 2021, I'd like to give you guys a quick update on the APA. First, let's congratulate our scholarship award winners for 2020, Alan Day, Shannon McCune, Ian McConnell, Kyle Fuller, Josh Apple, and Scott Blundo. And big shout out to Kyle Fuller for passing 2 levels last year. But know, everyone, that we only awarded 7 out of our 12 scholarships that were available. So please make sure to sign up for the APA this year. And we want to award 12 scholarships for 2021. In addition, be on the lookout for our APA in the know emails for all of our updates, including tournament dates and tournament signups. And lastly, big thank you to Jeff Main and all of our guest hosts for our APA education series that we held in February. Great responses, great success. Thanks, Jeff, for all the hard work. And know in the future, if you guys need any assistance with PGA level bookwork or any career needs, please reach out to your APA directors or myself. That would be Ryan Fellows for the Central Chapter, Jeff Main in the Northern Chapter, and Ryan Marks in the Southern Chapter. And know that going forward, in the fall, we will be holding elections for the A8 director position for the section, as well as each of the chapter positions. So if you have any questions or you want to get into governance, please give me a call. Feel free to shoot me an email, but I'd be glad to answer any questions you have. I look forward to a positive and successful 2021, and everybody have a great season.
Thank you, Eli. As a reminder, if you are eligible and have not already joined the APA, this is a great opportunity and I would encourage you to do so. Next, Education Committee co-chairs Mark Russo and Sean English have provided a video message.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the spring meeting. Sorry we can't do this in person. Mark Russo here, co-education committee chair with my co-chair, Sean English, coming to you virtually. Hope everyone is well, and just wanted to cover for you where we have been recently in the education program, and then Sean's going to cover what we have coming up. We got one more big event coming next week that we hope you'll join. So it's been a great virtual start to the year. Obviously, COVID has been tough for all of us, but one of the great things that's come out of it is our ability to use the virtual format to get bigger groups together and provide some great education for you. And we hope you've enjoyed it. So we really want to say thank you to a few people who contributed to our education leading up to our virtual teaching summit. Michael Breed, Josh Tremblay, our section president, and Doug Wirt, our PGA Junior League regional director. Aaron Dill from Titleist, who talked Vokey wedges and fitting, a really good session. Mike Adkins and Matt Fuller, who did an awesome time on the successful merchandising seminar. And then February 8th, we had James Hong, master junior instructor, U.S. Kids instructor, who really talked a lot about a lot of great information in terms of programming and how he does it. And as well, if you're interested in looking at those sessions, most of those should be on the Middle Atlantic's YouTube page now. So if you missed them, don't worry about it. You can go to the YouTube page and check those out and watch them in their entirety. So that's what we've dealt with coming up to this point. It's been a great attendance. Sean, you want to tell everybody about our virtual teaching summit coming up?
Yes, thanks, Mark. Hello, everybody. Glad to see everybody. Hopefully we get to see each other in person soon, like Mark already said. We have one of our biggest event that Mark and I have been working on, and we're kind of really excited about it. It's our virtual teaching summit with the emphasis on speed and power in golf that we have, and we have a great lineup coming up. We have Dr. Sasho McKenzie, Mike Romatowski, Dr. Scott Lynn, all joining us for presentations during the day, along with our two sponsors, Iconic Golf and Ping Golf, where we're going to have Marty Jertson from Ping, as well as a crew from Iconic showing you how to better your teaching program. But the Sasha McKenzie, and if you don't know, I think is one of the most intelligent men in ground forces in the country, along with Dr. Scott Lynn is the head of education for Swing Catalyst, And then we got Mike Romatowski, who is a Mariner, who used to work in Timonium at Core Golf and now is out in San Antonio with a program called Mach 3 speed training. I've gone through it myself. Really cool program, increased speed right off the bat with an hour-and-a-half session. We increased my speed. So some really cool things to be able to check out and hopefully help you with your teaching to your students. We've got it set up for starting at 8:45 on March 8th, and we'll run to about 2 o'clock. And then we'll end up where we'll kind of have at the end have a little bit of a question and answer session during each segment. So we're looking for a great day. Hope you can join us. Please sign up with the section office, and we'll have a great day.
Yeah, and Sean's right. It's going to be an awesome day, and the price is hard to beat, folks. Too. It's $10. So we hope you'll join all of us. Sign up at mapga.com. And real quick, I think Sean and I would both agree that before we sign off, I would like to say a thank you for our major assistance from the section office through the virtual summits and teaching seminars. Christine Alonso, our membership director, and Ben Smith, our communications manager, as well as John Gohl, our executive director, who has been helping us as well, just providing all the support needed for all these events. So thank you to all of them for the help. So
absolutely.
Yeah, so absolutely. So thank you all. We hope to see you in person soon. We hope to see you on Zoom on March 8th. Thank you for all your participation at this point, and have a great season. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Mark and Sean, for your update. There are a lot of exciting educational events in the coming weeks, so I encourage you to register for as many of them as possible, because as you know, investing in your professional development is a key to success in this industry. We will now transition to an update from the Employment Committee. First, we are joined by Greg Stenzel, our PGA career consultant, to provide a career services update. Please listen to Greg's recorded remarks and type any questions you may have for him in the chat.
Good morning, I'm Greg Stenzel, PGA Career Consultant for the Mid-Atlantic PGA section, and welcome to the MAPGA Spring Meeting. When we look back at 2020, we each may have a different perspective on the year. What started out as another golf season quickly turned into something we hadn't experienced before. You accepted the challenge and, as always, figured out a way to serve your members and guests. My hope is that as our 2021 season begins, we are in a better position to meet the needs of our golfers while establishing a needed work-life balance. Determine your priorities and goals, then utilize the strengths of your team to achieve them. As professionals, we often don't recognize when it's time to turn off. Develop a team schedule that works, and when it's your time, disengage. After all, it's a long season, so now is the time to put your plan in place. I first wanted to announce that we are very close to having our new Career Services Compensation Survey available on your PGA dashboard. This will be an improved version with better details and one that you can update at any time. A significant portion of your information will be maintained on the site, so in the event that you change positions during the year or your compensation changes, you'll be able to easily access the compensation survey tool and update only the new information. Your information is helpful not only to your fellow professionals, but also employers in setting up compensation for their searches. I also wanted to provide you with some information about our career services team. Each year, our team sets performance goals. We are gauged and reviewed on our ability to reach these goals both individually and as a team. While the 2021 fiscal year isn't complete, I'd like to share with you some of the information which we share with National. We were asked to increase our executive search service business by 10%. Executive search service is our paid search business. We were able to increase our executive search business by 128% and increase our revenues by 114%. Net Promoter Scores are important to knowing what our employers, members, and section leaders think about our services. Anything above 50 is good, and above 70 is considered to be the best of the best. Our employer score is 93, our member score is 74, and our section leader score is 84. We were also asked to increase our compensation in both our traditional listings by 5% and our paid search services by 10%. We are currently above 14 and 22% respectively. Finally, we've been able to exceed our goals of interacting with more of our members. And with your help, we were also able to exceed our goal of those who completed their job preferences. And I thank you for your support in helping us exceed our goals. I'd like to spend just a few minutes talking about your employment opportunities. Let's take a look at this scenario. If you were the employer and I gave you $100,000 to select your new candidate as base salary, what skills would you look for in your new head professional? Would you look for an up-and-comer, maybe a more experienced professional, or perhaps one with more skills and abilities? We can do a comparative analogy between buying a car and hiring a candidate. It's not a whole lot different, whether it's taking a look at the spec sheet, the resume, reviewing advertisements or letters of recommendation. Everything goes into consideration when we make a purchase or when we hire the candidate. What's the difference with all the vehicles here in the parking lot? It might be the style, it might be the utility, or it might be the options. But employers have their mindset on the type of candidate they want. They know what requirements are necessary and what skill sets they need. They also understand what compensation they have available and what it will buy. The more options you have available on your sell sheet, the more money you can command in the marketplace. Your value is determined by the benefits you can bring to the employer, the facility, and the members or guests. So build your sell sheet, improve your knowledge and skills, and increase your marketability. Everyone has to know that if you're only a basic model, your opportunity for candidate selection is decreased. However, with more options, you have a better opportunity to meet the employer's needs and be a positive impact at their facility. As Coach Lou Holtz said, ability is what you're capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do, and attitude determines how well you do it. I want you to know I'm here to support your career development needs. I hope you'll reach out to me if I can be of assistance. Wishing you the best in your season and in your career.
Thank you, Greg. Jay Duffy, our Chair of the Employment Committee, will now join Greg for prepared question and answer session. Following this session, Greg will also answer questions submitted via the chat.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jay Duffy. I'm the PGA Director of Golf at Washington Golf and Country Club. And I'm here today with a little Q&A with PGA professional Greg Stensel, who is our Middle Atlantic PGA career consultant. Greg, I appreciate your time and answering some questions that not only I know that I have, but many of my peers have as well, as we're all trying to create and build our teams in the 2021 season. And Greg, so I'm going to start with, as I go on pga.org and I get the listings from the MAPGA in the email form about jobs that are available. Are you seeing more jobs posted than in years past? And if so, what would you attribute that to?
Yeah, we're probably not seeing as many jobs posted on the management side or any more than what we typically have. But definitely on the assistant side, across every section, we're seeing an increase in the number of available assistant positions. And the biggest question that I get from a lot of our professionals is, do we have a shrinking talent pool? And in some cases, we know that candidates are taking a look at their life-work balance and making some decisions there. Others are unable to move because maybe their spouse is gainfully employed and so they can't move out of their area. But I think one of the bigger reasons, Jay, is that we have such a large number of different classifications available to our professionals these days, 24, that many of our professionals are choosing alternative employment options, such as working for manufacturing reps, being club fitters, working in retail stores, travel industry, or media, different kinds of options. And so we don't see as many that are working on the green grass side. As an example, at the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, when I was out there a couple of years ago doing education, we had 5 graduating seniors. And of those 5, only 1 had plans of going into green grass. The other 4 were moving on to alternative employment within our industry. So that's what we're seeing on the job board side.
So you touched on the PGM University out at Maryland Eastern Shore. Some professionals have asked me, how are the PGM universities doing as far as enrollment goes? I know John Madden, PGA professional at River Bend and our A10, has been tasked to be on a task force to kind of address and talk with the PGM universities about their futures going forward and how they can recruit. But what kind of numbers are coming out of the PGM universities, maybe say compared to 5-10 years ago?
Yeah, so we all recognize the numbers in the PGM universities are declining, and they've been doing so steadily over the last 5 to 10 years. I think one of the biggest problems that we have is that a lot of our bright candidates that work through the university system are paying upwards of $120,000 or more for their education. And when they put pencil to paper, it's awfully difficult for them to come into our industry where they may start out at $35,000 a year and look at the payback. And one of the differences between our industry and others is that you may be at that $35,000 to $40,000 income range for a long time. It may be 4 or 5 years before maybe you're able to develop a client base for instruction where you can increase your lesson revenue, or before you have the option to apply for a head professional position, where outside of our industry, you may start at the same entry level for compensation, but it tends to move up more quickly. So I think that's somewhere we need to try to find the secret sauce on how we can bring people in and quickly elevate them to a higher compensation level.
Great. So going back to the job postings, and obviously you see them on a regular basis. Everybody's posting, trying to find obviously the best talent. How can employers and peers that are going to be hearing this, like myself, do a better job on their job postings to recruit better talent?
Well, one of the things that we see across the board from other industries is that the best corporations tend to outline the benefits of working for their company. We tend to list the daily required functions for our candidates, and the question comes up, are you selling the job or are you just listing it hoping that you get applications? So it's not a whole lot different than what we see when we ask someone to write the resume. If they briefly write manage tournaments, manage inventory, work behind the counter, run events, those kind of things, every employer understands that that's what we do on a daily basis. What they want to know is how we're different, how we can impact their facility. And candidates look at jobs the same way. If they see a job listing that identifies all the different things that they're going to do from the beginning to the end of the day, they already know what the responsibilities are going to be for an assistant. What they really want to know is, how am I going to be better employed at your facility over your competitor? So we really need to do a better job of letting the candidate know what we're going to do for them. A couple examples might be Golf Tech. They let their candidates know that they're not only going to train them, but they're also going to pay for their education to become PGA members. One of our employers, Nemacolin Resort, recently, when they wrote their job description, it started out to say, expect the unexpected. The career opportunity is where entertainment and excitement are part of the job description. So, if we take a look at those things, they sound a little bit more enticing and exciting for the candidate. And I think it's just a different way that we need to approach writing job listings going forward.
No, that's a great point. I think we can't continue to do the same model and expect different results if we're not getting the best talent. So I think that makes complete sense. And what other methods, other than PGA.org and using the job board, are some facilities trying to get creative to find talent? How do we see a lot of successful facilities out there that tend to, sure talent will be attracted to them, maybe because they sell themselves better. But what other ways can facilities try to figure out other ways to find talent?
Well, that's probably a two-part question, but one of them is in trying to use different resources to advertise. So besides PGA.org, we've actually talked to a lot of our employers about using third-party job boards. And I'm not opposed to doing that as long as that's the entry-level positions. It's not something that you want to do for the management positions. And we have actually found out that two other areas that people are having success attracting candidates are Facebook and Instagram. So, that's not a traditional place to list jobs, but people are having success. So it's something that you might want to look at. We actually use LinkedIn for our advanced searches as one of the resources and have found, some pretty good success in attracting candidates through that. Our numbers have increased on the number of people that are following our LinkedIn page. So we're using that. A couple of the other things, and I know that you do this, Jay, but back when I was looking for people to work in my outside operation, for example, I would go to the kids that were already helping me and say, hey, I'm going to add another position. Do you know anybody that might be interested in working with you outside? And the reason that I would ask them is because they typically could go back and find somebody that was a friend of theirs that they wanted to work with, that maybe had the same values that they did, would put in, a work day that was similar to theirs so that it wouldn't put more responsibility on them. And they would always bring me a candidate. And it seemed like that worked pretty well. For inside the golf shop, we need to do kind of what we used to do. And that's look at the people that are coming and playing at our golf facilities. It could be high school students. It could be college kids that play in the local college team. It might be a retired police officer that comes out and plays every day. But if we actually recruit those people, go out and ask them, hey, would you be interested in joining our association? Would you like to work in the golf industry? Then I think that we've got a better chance of bringing people in than just relying on a job post. We've got to get active in recruiting. I'll tell you one more thing while we're on that, just as an example, is some of the other facilities that we recognize that are having success with their candidates, and I mentioned this earlier in the previous question, is providing a successful and organized pathway to advancement. And one of the people that does that is David Reesner at Ridgewood Country Club. He's brought in assistants and recruited them. He trains, he educates and coaches and mentors them and moves them on to other positions. So, if you've got a history of placing people in positions, you've got a much better chance as a facility to attract quality candidates.
Yeah. Obviously, Dave was the 19 Strasbourg winner, so obviously recognized for his efforts and talents there. And I think that we as a group and a brethren can do a better job of helping each other out. As if I'm going through an assistant process, trying to find the best talent for my team, and there happens to be a few talented people that have gone through the process, but I can only hire one, and I see somebody on the job board that's looking for an assistant, we should reach out to one another and say, well, I did not hire these folks. I think they're talented, and I think that they'd be, potentially a good fit for your team. So we can maybe help each other out in that respect as well. And final, Greg, I know that there's been some positions available, and you're doing a little bit more of your time talking about some advanced searches for directors of golf and head professionals at some of the best facilities in the country. So as we're talking to some of those that are trying to make that leap to those positions, what are you seeing on search committees of candidates what DNA are they having to kind of differentiate themselves from the other candidates and what trends are you seeing that search committees are looking for?
Well, it's interesting because we have more employers now that are reaching out to us and saying, hey, give us 10 names. Who do you have? Even before they post a listing. So it's really important that if you're one of those candidates that are out there that's interested in some of these top jobs, you have to stay in touch with your PGA career consultants. And I'm not talking just about me, but career consultants across the board, wherever it is that you might want to work. Because if an employer is going to ask us about a candidate, we need to know what it is that you're looking for, what your starting salary range is going to be, and the geographic location that you might want to go. So the more information we have about you, the better chance that you have of starting out initially and getting in the search process for those high level jobs. But we're doing more advanced searches. We feel like we're getting better at it. We learn more every time that we do an advanced search. The one thing that probably has been the best is we've gotten to know so many candidates across the country. And so we've got a pretty good list of people that we know can fit different categories. And the ones that are most successful, the competition is extremely high, Jay. The ones that are most successful, the ones who really do the work, who really understand who's on the committee, try to build a relationship with those people so that when they walk in the interview room, if they can say, hey, I know you went to Penn State, I went to Penn State, they've already built a relationship. That's a vote that's in their pocket. They may find out that they're a club champion at the club, so they might bring that up, which, again, creates that relationship before the questioning ever begins. And then they really need to do the research on the facility. So many times we get the search committee to say, tell us a little bit about our club and what our mission statement is. And if a guy goes blank, he's out. So we recently had a candidate that did an extremely good job at knowing not only all about the facility, but the people that work there. And the committee was extremely impressed at the job that he did. So it takes a lot of work, and we're happy to share information. It's not just what you read in the job description. And, I recently did an advanced search, and one of the processes that I use is I go to the committee members on the side one-on-one and say, what is it that you're looking for in your next head professional? And it's surprising because in probably 95% of the cases, the information that they give me is different than what's in the job description. So if I can share that information with a candidate, they got one leg up on everybody else. If they walk in and they think that they're going to follow the same path, a lot of times search committees want change, even though they may have a golf professional in place for many, many years and respect what they've done. It doesn't mean that that's what they always want going forward. So again, communication with career consultants it's a high priority. You just have to do it.
Well, a lot of this sounds like common sense, but there's a lot of work to go in to help sell yourself and be engaged. And we could talk about this all day long. Luckily, we're going to have an opportunity to do that on March 15th. We're going to have our employment summit. We're going to have some of your peers across the country, other employment consultants at other sections to help support us with some ideas and some stories and some trends. So March 15th, employment summit at 1 o'clock. There's information at the MAPGA. You'll see some emails coming out in regards to that. I hope everybody can join us. Greg, thank you very much for the insight as always. Appreciate everything you do for the MAPGA professional. Hopefully it's not the weather that we're showing here, and hope everybody's safe. And again, we'll look forward to seeing you on the 15th as well as March 1st at the spring meeting.
Thanks so much, Jay. Really appreciate it, and look forward to seeing everybody there.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you, Jay and Greg. We appreciate you sharing this important information. Executive Director John Gould, did we receive any questions for Greg?
I do have one, thanks to Jim Bennett. His question for Greg is there any other way to start the conversation about raise in salary for assistant pros other than the compensation survey?
Yeah, you can, you mean within your employer, you can actually talk to them and see if you can't get some participation involved between the assistant and the actual revenue streams that are generated through their help. So it might be event management. If you're doing events, they might get paid per person as people are recruited to come in and play in your events. Obviously, the percentage of lessons, if you can get them included in the bonus performance reviews at your club, that's a good way to do it. But certainly a discussion has to take place. We've increased wages for assistants by about 4% this year, which is good. But, it's still on the low side when we take a look at other industries. So something that we continue to talk about, not only amongst ourselves, but National is talking about it too. Don may have some ideas on that a little bit later. But we'll continue to try to help you and provide you with solutions that will give you better opportunities to hire assistants going forward.
Thank you, Greg. That's it. Josh?
Okay, thank you for the update. Next on the agenda, we are pleased to have distinguished guests with us today from the PGA of America. We have the tag team of newly elected Secretary Don Ray from the Southwest section and our own District 10 Director, John Madden. 2020 proved to be a year unlike any other, and 2021 is shaping up to be a busy one. We'd like to give Mr. Ray and Mr. Madden the opportunity to share an update with you today. Please enter your questions for them in the chat.
Thanks, Josh. I'm enjoyed tag teaming with Don. So, and thanks for having us as part of the spring meeting. First, I'd like to, thank Josh, you and your board for what an outstanding job, and John Gould and his staff for all the events and programs you guys were able to perform last year. And it was just amazing. And we look forward to a great year going forward this year. We know that rounds are going to be up. We're going to be busier than ever. And, we'll see what we can do about the recruitment of all these assistants. First, I just real fast, we have a new director at large that joined the board. Kathy Harbin joined, LPGA, PGA member, owner of a facility, a longtime member, and has done a lot in the player development. I'm looking forward to working with her over the next couple of years on the board and her insights. So we're very excited about that. I'd just like to remind the members, if you could make the PGA show virtually, that you can watch it on demand. And hopefully we had 11,000 people go through it, get with vendors, do the education part. So that was really exciting. So we've got some great tournaments coming up this year. We got the PGA Professional Championship, and we've got a handful of our members in the Middle Atlantic playing in that, and that's in April at the PGA Golf Club. We've gotten rave reviews from all the changes down there at PGA Golf Club. They redid the range and did some work on the Wanamaker course. And the staff down there is just doing an outstanding job. And the Winter Series went very well. We're excited. The PGA Championship is going to be at Kiowa Island, and we're going to be allowed to have 10,000 spectators there each day. So that'll be exciting, and watch some of the best players in the world play. That'll be followed up by our KitchenAid Senior PGA Championship at Southern Hills Country Club. And Southern Hills is also going to do the 2022 PGA Championship. So they got a busy year ahead of them. So, and then we also have the Kpmg Championship in June, which will be at Atlanta Athletic Club. And we're excited that we're going to have the Ryder Cup this year. It's going to be at Whistling Straits in the third week of September. And we hope by that time we'll be able to have about 40 to 45,000 very calm spectators there to root us on for a victory. So we're very excited about that. Unfortunately, we were not allowed to get to the Masters this year as PGA members because of the COVID and their restrictions. But you are allowed to go to those events that I mentioned and bring a guest. So we're excited about that, as long as nothing changes with the COVID and always have to follow the state and local governing bodies there. So as far as properties, real fast, Valhalla had a pretty busy year. We were down a little bit in guest play, but we're getting ready to do a little renovation there on the fairways and some bunkers, and then adding some further back tees. These guys hit it so long. So that's going to start toward the end of the summer. They're hosting the 2024 PGA Championship. So we're excited about that. I mentioned PGA Golf Club. Frisco, they survived winter weather down there. Who knew? Ice, snow, no electric, water. It's some of the stories. It's amazing. But the project's on time. The board's heading out there in 3 weeks. So we're going to have a 2-day meeting there. And then the week's going to end up with the committee chairs coming together and having virtual committee meetings with all the national committees. But we got 34 out of the 36 holes are completed. The other 2 will be sodded this spring. We're going to let it grow in for over a year, so there's no play this year. We're going to open that up probably around August of 2022. The building, Pga Headquarters, is coming out of the ground. It's going to be amazing. That should be complete at the end of this year, and then we have our practice facility and short game complexes underway, and it's just it's going to be state of the art with education and player development opportunities. So excited about that. Greg and Jay mentioned about young men and women joining our ranks and assistant golf professionals and recruitment. I am now the co-chair of the universities committee, which is a new committee, and we're very excited. We had our first meeting. The universities, we have 18 of them across the country. I have 7 in my district, so that means we need to get these men and women to join our ranks, and it's hard because it's the cost, it's the time commitment that we're hearing, the entrance requirements. No virtual learning up to last year was an issue. Work-life balance, mentorship, and which we already mentioned is the initial compensation. Those are all some of the barriers that we're going to be working through. And, I'm excited about this committee because we're going to do a lot, and we're going to get those numbers back up and watch and have a lot of men and women join our ranks. So finally, a couple of things. We had a meeting last week, came out of the membership. They're expanding events to qualify for the playability test. So now the first 2 competitive rounds in your section events, or state open or amateur championships, or 2 36-hole qualifiers for the USGA will be allowed now to be counted as your PAT. Also, if we have MSR points now will be allowed for anybody that's going to do the family league and family cup at their facility. So we're excited about that. I know that the Mid Atlantic put in a request from to the membership committee about shorts at the PAT. That went back to the committee for more review and discussion. So that might be coming up at a future date. So I'd like to throw it over to Don. I'm excited Don could join us today. And I know we got you up a little early out there on the West Coast, but you look great.
I'm really excited, man. I had that groovy music while I was listening to Greg's presentation, and then I thought Michael Waltrip was awesome. Well done. I think as a section having him on, I don't know if I'm running to my golf ball in the fitness aspect of golf, but I appreciate that he is. I thought he was an excellent speaker, and just shows you the love of the game. Heck, those are the stories, right? That'll help us recruit more people into this game, and it's us, right? It's got to be us, the ones growing it. Well, I'll tackle the big ones, John. Let's just talk about Trump Bedminster 2022 and moving the PGA Championship. I know some of you were, obviously, half of America voted for President Trump, half voted for now the President Joe Biden, and so it was going to be a tough topic. But at the board level, I want to assure you, and John, you guys did such a great job as a board of asking great questions. But at the end of the day, guys, this is what we do, and gals out there, is defend the member, defend our championships, and make sure that our championships are always about our members. It's about our brand. Our brand is the very things that we do every day, right? I mean, whether it's PGA Hope or PGA Junior League and all of those things, and you just got to know that PGA Championship is PGA Championship is the one time that we get to show the world basically what we do as PGA members. Our PGA members are being spotlit on during those events, and the board and the officers, we all came together and just said, this is not about politics. This is about PGA members. This is about our brand. And in the best interests of that, we're going to have to move it. And so we moved it to Southern Hills in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So I know not everybody's going to agree with that. I get it. I got all the emails. So did John, good and bad. But, as your board does and in your section, there's always tough decisions. But we made that, and it wasn't political. It was all about you. Let's talk about the USGA. Obviously, that just came out. They're trying to make the $750 to be cash also. I don't know about you, but I'm not real happy with that. And the PGA is not happy about that. The board and the officers. And we've been fighting and defending the USGA, our PGA members in the golf shops that we own and operate, even if you don't own and operate them. And they would say that, it's, well, there's a lot of stored up, gift certificates that never get used. Well, we know that also creates a lot of activity in our shops. And all I can tell you is this, is the period ends on March 26th. So right now they gave us a month, right? And basically the PGA of America, we got a 1 day, we knew they were discussing all these things. They keep us abreast of that, but we got a 1 day advance notice of when they were going to send out that press release of saying that the month kind of feedback period has begun. So we're in it. And believe me, the officers and the board, we're going to defend and promote what the PGA members do, and that we think 750 going to cash instead of gift certificates is a terrible thing. But I need your help. We need your help to do that too. I hope Craig's not mad, but the gentleman at the USGA, his name's Craig Winter, and his email address, I'm going to give it to you. It's cwinter@usga.org, because they want feedback, and that feedback can come from PGA members. I hope you send them an email today. It could also come from the members at your private clubs. I know some of them are going to say, well, hey, Don, I'm always going to get gift certificates here. I don't need the cash. But what about those member guests? What about the guests who are winning that? I'm just thinking of all this opportunity I have in my own golf shop. And if it's just us PGA members, that may be enough to convince the USGA not to go this route. But certainly if our members also send those members at our club, send emails to the USGA, it could help us. I would love to see a plethora of emails hit Craig Winter's email account today, especially from your section, saying that, hey, we're not in favor of this. We think it should be gift certificates, because that helps the PGA member in the golf shops that we own and operate. As far as them giving lessons, that did get avoided. They were shooting for that also, that an amateur could give golf lessons for cash. You can't do that. You can't be compensated for a lesson and be an amateur golfer. So that's a good thing. So help us with the USGA thing. All right, let me go down my list here of some of the good stuff, and I won't take too long, but I do think it's important that you hear from your national leadership. And by the way, John's doing an amazing job. Josh and John Gould, thank you for inviting me to this meeting. I want to come. I want to be here, and I just love talking on behalf of the members and tell you what we're trying to do. The most important thing I can tell you right now is the committee structure. I've never been more excited about anything in the PGA of America in the almost 20 years I've been a member, is the way the committees are now going to be held accountable for recommendations going to the National Board of Directors. There's been a time in the PGA where the committees were kind of just like focus groups, and they were asked their opinion about things by the staff. And John and Jim and I were committed to this, that we want the committees pushing the envelope on recommendations. That is how our governance system works, is committees make recommendations to the board, and the board votes on those, or tells them to go back to committee and sharpen your pencil, whatever that may be. But whether it's PGA Hope, whether it's the governance of the PGA, whether it's the PGM universities, everything across the board, the committees now are going to be held accountable to come up with what's happening to the PGA member, what are some ideas that will help the PGA member, and how those recommendations come to the board so that we can make change. I mean, that's what we're all called to do when we sign up to sit in this chair. So I'm excited about the new committee structure and the presence they're going to have, and the accountability that they're going to be given, and it's going to be laid on them. All right, checking off some stuff here. PGA tee times. I know everybody's busy. I get it. I mean, I'm in the public facility side, and as a private club person, you might say, well, Don, this doesn't really apply to me. But it kind of does, because we're all in the same ecosystem of golf, and we want more people playing, and more people are playing. But this is what I'm worried about, is that when everybody's time commitment gets pulled because of club sports, or whatever it may be, we're not doing as many Zoom, and there's a lot more in-person meetings in corporate America. There will be traveling again, and traveling means the day you can't play golf. And so when I think about PGA tee times, I think about all these people who are looking to play. They're Google searching certain names. Maybe it's just golf in Maryland, golf in Virginia, could be golf in Arizona, wherever it is. A lot of times those keywords, when you type into a Google search, it's not pulling up a specific golf course, it's pulling up a tee time aggregator. If you search golf tee times in your area, and I encourage you to do that, what comes up when they type golf tee times? So this is what we have to do in the PGA of America, is to leverage our marketing assets, make sure that we understand those algorithms on Google and are driving business to our members and the courses that they work at. This is where I see PGA tee times. You can be part of a lot of different aggregators. It doesn't matter. Be on Golf Now and Tee Off, and be on teetimes.pga.com. I mean, I think these are all good things, but what I really like about teetimes.pga.com is we're simply going to push the rate that you're posting. no barter, just pushing the rate that you're posting. But the most important thing, I've got 10,000 names in my database. They're all golfers. How am I going to get in front of the non-golfers? How am I going to get those who are kicking the tires? Who are those who, oh, you know, I just watched the PGA Championship. I want to start playing golf. Or what's that PGA Junior League? I want them to go to PGA.com, which is going to push them to PGA.coach. And it's going to push money, rounds and revenue to the PGA member in their facilities. You know, I'd like to finish on that is Trillium Rose. Awesome, Trillium, what you accomplished in 2 years. I mean, truly amazing. And thank you for that. And PJ.coach, if you haven't signed up for PJ.coach, gone through the ADM training and all of the other training, Will Robbins has several videos, all 3 to 4 minutes. They're short, just telling you how to help your business. You want to talk about, you know, recruitment? Well, we have to show that we can make more money, and it's not standing behind the counter. It's maybe $1 a minute, $1.50 a minute on the driving range, growing the game, which grows the bottom line of that facility. So please, if you haven't signed up to PJ.coach, you haven't gone through that training, I encourage you to do it today, because what Will has done on that and what everybody has done on that really is truly amazing. So please go to PJ.coach. All right, I'm talking as fast as I can, John. I'm going to get through this, brother. Frisco, yeah, well done. I was there. We're happy to have the board there. That building will be open a year from now, and so excited about that. And we're going to have opportunities for members to go there so that we can tell you, give you tours, because you're just going to love it. Hot topic, West Palm Beach Golf Course. Maybe you read some articles about it. This is where the PGA, we're not providing any money to this, but certainly we're looking at this municipal golf course, basically, right, that closed down. It's been fallow for a couple years, and there aren't, believe it or not, there are a lot of golf courses in the West Palm Beach area, but almost all of them are private. There's not many public facilities, and that golf course was. So now the West Palm Beach Golf Park, I think that's what we're calling it. The idea is this, is can we get some local businessmen to invest in a course that's local, that's actually going to do PGA Hope programs, PGA Junior League, really address inner city golf and just get it going, right? Can we create an endowment? Because we know golf's hard to make a living. But could an endowment be created, $20 to $40 million, that money that kicks off, just like at a university, that money kicks off and covers operational losses, or better yet, covers the programs at that facility so they don't not do them because they're afraid of losing money on them. If you're going to give good rates to PGA Hope members, you know, or students, we're going to give them a lower, that's going to hurt the bottom line if we're only allowing them to play for $10 or even a junior for $5. So what I think is exciting about this, and I saw and I walked the property, is that can we make this a template for other cities across the nation where we collectively bring in these donors and say, hey, can you pump some money into this endowment fund? Because this golf course over here, it's almost like Bar Rescue and John Tapper, right? Can we put a little money in it if it's still open and really create a little bit of pride in that facility and drive people who we need to play golf to those facilities? So, you know, let's just wait and see on West Palm Beach, but I am excited about it because I think it could be an opportunity in one of the columns of PGA Reach, which is places to play. All right, I think I covered a lot of it, John. Did I? Oh, you know, there's a couple new sponsors. If you don't mind, a little shout out. You know, FootJoy Acushnet, they recently jumped on with the National High School Championship. You know, that was Next Gen, and we purchased Next Gen because we saw that as a transitional way. So maybe you don't get a scholarship to play golf in college, but you still want to play some golf. Next Gen had this transitional, they funneled somebody right to playing golf for the rest of their life. And so we purchased that company, and Chris Hart's doing an amazing job, and really excited that Peter Broom and FootJoy and Acushnet came on board to sponsor the National High School Championship. And then I don't know if you've heard of the PGA Club Championship or the PGA National Club Championship, where you take these club champions from across the nation and bring them into a national championship that's going to be at Pinehurst. Another product of Next Gen, which now is a product of the PGA of America. TaylorMade just jumped in and is going to sponsor that. Appreciate everybody at TaylorMade. They've always been great to our association. I think I got it all, John. That was the fastest 5 minutes in sports right there. But we do want to answer a lot of questions. So I'll pause and what do you guys think?
John Gould, how are we looking on the question front? Do we have any?
They're still coming in. Greg Stenzel mentioned he's helping at the event at Pinehurst. But Don, I think some of our group probably may not know all the background of the USGA decision, because that came out fairly recently, I think last week. Do you want to give us a little background? And then obviously I put the email in the chat for Craig Winters if any of our professionals are not for the $750 cash payment. But Don, can you just give a little background, please?
Yeah, I think when I was talking to Jim Richardson about it, obviously he's been an officer now for 4 years, was on the board before that. Obviously the PGA of America, we've always been pushing back on things that affect our PGA members, and this came up, and this is common. For the USGA, they'll whether it's a distance thing or whatever it might be, they do tell the PGA what's going on, and then there's always this feedback period. So the gist of it is this 30-day feedback period. The most important thing I think is going to be it's the $750 is staying the same. But before it had to be in gift certificates, right? Obviously over $750 they couldn't do, or they'd lose their status. But you can pay them under $750 and it wouldn't affect their amateur status. But it was always in gift certificates. And John, they've said that, well, if you go to the USGA's website and read it, because I read it in preparation for this meeting, you'll see that they're saying, well, there's all of these gift certificates they're sitting that never get used. Well, that's breakage. I mean, if I own a golf shop, that's okay with me. I mean, obviously I want them to spend the $100 gift certificate and $50 more in cash. I mean, that's how we make a living, everybody, right? Even if we don't own the shop, we're trying to have a successful operation. So yeah, John, that's what they're trying to say, is that it's so hard to spend the gift certificates. Let's just give them cash. So let your mind run down all the scenarios of that. I think you're going to find out everybody's going to want cash, and they might spend it in the bar. But I don't know about you. Not a lot of PGA professionals own the revenue in the bar. We own the revenue in the golf shop. So we're pushing back on that. Like I said, it did come up on compensation for lessons. Obviously, somebody can still help out a first tee clinic and not affect their ability to be an amateur golfer. But those were the two biggies on addressing amateur status. And Craig, that's his specific job for the USGA. I did not check with him before giving out his email, but hey, whatever. We got to protect our PGA members. So send him some emails. I'm serious.
Thank you, Don. I would ask anybody else if they need, that was the only question we had in the chat. If you have another question, real quickly, we can get it in. Here comes one from Eddie Luke. What was the idea behind moving the PGA offices to Texas from Florida? The weather was always a big factor for PGA member events in the winter, and we know Florida is usually fairly mild, unlike Texas at times.
At times, and really the last 2 weeks, there were some PGA of America headquarter staff members that actually went down to Texas to check it out, look at houses and stuff, and they went during that week, so that wasn't very good. The historical context of all that decision was this. We had 2 buildings in Florida, right? One we leased, one we owned. Well, we needed a bigger building. And what were we going to do? Because we're not going to lease forever. I mean, we do have all this money in the bank. Why wouldn't we own our own building? And the building we owned that we built, I mean, basically it was 40 years old and it needed a facelift. And so the board of directors back in the day, it's probably 5-6 years ago, said, well, if we're going to look across the street, we might as well look across the nation, and hired a firm to find out where these sites could be. And Atlanta came up, Southern California came up, Phoenix, Arizona came up, keeping it in Florida came up, and then Frisco, Texas came up. A lot of investments going on there, and the temperatures are better than what they showed the last two weeks, but it was all about, should our headquarters be in the middle of America so everybody can fly there? Nothing's going to change in Florida as far as the PGA Golf Club and the Winter Series events that we're doing there. But the board is going to talk about, John's going to be talking about this, John Madden, of do we move everybody to Frisco, Texas, all basically 300 staff members, or do some stay in Florida? That's yet to be determined. Right now, the majority of our staff members are going to be in Frisco. But to answer the question, it was all about a centrally located, fly into Dallas Fort Worth Airport, take an Uber ride for 20 minutes, and boom, you're at the headquarters of the PGA of America. We can fly in sponsors. We can have our educational stuff there. There's a 100,000 square foot convention center. We can do little shows, not the PGA show, but we can do other conventions for technology and things like that. So you're talking about we had the ability as a PGA of America to get a brand new $40 million building, to be located at 36 holes where we're going to hold our Ryder Cup, our PGA Championships, all of our championships, a huge driving range that we can literally be the innovation center for golf across this globe, and then bring our members to this facility and non-members. And this is what I think is most exciting is this PGA retail experience. 500-room hotel with Omni, 100,000 square foot convention center, people who don't play golf showing up on a daily basis, and the story being told that we are not tour members. We are PGA members who grow this game and give more back to charity than all the other sports combined. So that ability to own that experience for golfers and non-golfers at the highest level and the very beginning level, it was just very compelling to move the entire headquarters to Frisco. And we've got a lot of breaks with the county, a lot of breaks with the city, a lot of breaks with the state. And there are major partners in that area that we can also now leverage. They're not endemics, they're not in the golf industry, but they're outside of it. But now since we're in the area and we're a neighbor, we're going to leverage them for more sponsor money, which obviously flows down to the sections and the budgets of the sections. So there you go.
Great answer, Don. Thank you. A few more have come in. From Mark Anderson, what have you heard about National Golf Day this year and how the PGA of America will be involved?
Mark, you know, this year it looks like it's going to be virtual. It's usually in May. That's specifically why Jim Richardson created a governance committee, which John Madden is a co-chair of. You're right there in the belly of the beast, John. I know you're going to do a great job. And the key is, will there be a We Are Golf Day and a government? It looks like it's going to be virtual this year. But going on, how is the PGA member going to be represented? I think if anybody heard some of my campaign stuff, we were never there. I was there with the NGCOA. The club managers are there. The superintendents are there. The PGA's not there. John and Jim Dorman, who's the co-chair of that committee, they're going to make sure that we're there. I'm excited about what they're going to do. And like I said, going this year virtual, we're going to be involved. But the in-person stuff, you know, hopefully next year when COVID protocols drop a little bit, we'll be there, because we saw how important it is with COVID, that it's not necessarily the national legislation. It gets our foot in the door, but also the idea is hopefully, and I know John and Jim are going to talk about this or work on this, is can we get down at the state level too? Because as we all know, it was the governors and the mayors that were also closing golf courses, not just the state and US senators. So we're going to work on that. We're going to get better at that, Mark.
Thank you, Don. Another question from Jay Duffy, Washington Golf. Is the ball still moving forward on pension talks with the IRS that Seth Wall was spearheading?
Yeah, no doubt, Jay. And it's not completely on the back burner, but there were other things that we wanted to address quickly. And, you know, the thing about the deferred comp and the challenge of it, right, is that we don't want it to be a birthday. We want it to be Christmas for the PGA members who end up qualifying for that. So the criteria in which you would be vested in the deferred compensation, all those nuts and bolts have kind of been worked out. But how much money do we put in that account so that it's a nice check at the end of the year for everybody that gets it? So we're still working through the final phases of the IRS and making sure that it all fits the bill so it fits under our not-for-profit status. So it's still moving forward, but there was other areas that we wanted to address. There's a lot of PGA Hope programs that are not getting funded right now. Okay, so is that something that flows right down to the PGA member? Absolutely. PGA Junior League, we're trying to keep those fees down, and how can we make sure that program keeps its momentum? PGA Family Cup. So no doubt, deferred comp is not going away, still grinding on it, still in the kitchen. We're just doing all the sausage making right now, but it's not going to happen this year. So don't think it's going to happen this year, because the idea is, and by the way, John Gould, as you know, the ADP, we're in our own feedback period, right, John, of what this new ADP plan is going to be. We want this money in the member's pocket, and that means it has to be in the section's pocket. And so let's figure that out first and make sure that executive directors and the presidents and officers across the nation of all the sections are happy with what we're getting through ADP and the new bonus structure that's looking to get approved. Then we can fall back to deferred comp. Deferred comp's great. We're going to make it happen. But once again, Jay, we want it to be Christmas, not a birthday.
Thank you. One last one for you. Alan Smith asked any progress on health insurance as a national organization.
Alan, you know, there is a little bit of progress. It turns out Jim and John and I were there was an individual out of the Midwest section that had been throwing some ideas out there that he thinks really could work. Somehow it was falling on deaf ears. Seth Wall is now engaged with him, and we're finding out what's going on there. Maybe you heard like some of the things that I was running again. I'm running with when I was campaigning, but I think why can't we do something on, maybe it's HSA accounts and we could do something that way. But absolutely, I mean, I've got 5 PGA golf professionals here at Augusta Ranch, and you know, it's hard for me to provide those benefits, trying my best. but wouldn't it be nice if the PGA could do something collectively with 28,000? And some of those opportunities were opened up under the Trump administration, and now we're trying to explore those gaps so that we can get something for our members. So still grinding on it, and I promise you, I'm going to be in this chair for 6 years. I'm going to be grinding on it until my last days, and I think we're going to get it done. It's something that's viable, something that the PGA member would see some value in.
Thank you. Actually, I got one more question in on text for John Madden from Mr. Hiroko. John, he would like to know, has the membership committee created a badge for quarter and half century members yet?
As far as I know, the membership committee hasn't. I know they've been discussing that, but I'll make sure it gets over to the membership committee, and we'll have an update for you here in the next couple of weeks. I don't know if you've heard anything, Don.
No, that's the power of the committee. I know you guys are going to be grinding on it. And, all the committee chairs, their email addresses, contact information is on pj.org. And anytime you got an axe to grind, we want to hear from you. I mean, it's like the PGA Junior League. Don't think I haven't got a lot of emails about this new $250 regional fee and $500 final fee for the students that are, or the players that get there. We're grinding on that right now. That was shown to us. We're going to talk about it now. We're going to figure it out. But it was because a lot of members sent me an email saying, Don, what the heck? That's what we all should be doing, looking at our chairs on a section level, chapter level, and certainly the national level to make sure our committees are working for us and on behalf of us. So yeah, great question. And I know, John, you're going to do a lot on the membership committee to make sure that we're addressing things like that.
Mr. President, I think we're back to you. Thank you, both Don and John.
Thank you, gentlemen. We want to thank both Don Ray and John Madden for joining us today for the meeting. We always appreciate receiving these updates, and thanks, Don, for getting up early today with us. So moving along on the agenda, our Junior Golf Director, Colin Elphick, is joining us to share some updates on behalf of the Junior Golf Committee.
Thanks, Josh. Thank you, everyone, for allowing me to speak a little bit. I'm very excited for getting the Junior Tour season underway again. As some of you may have seen, we're starting with our spring events. Our official Junior Tour season will start June 16th at Chantilly National. We'll be featuring over 40+ events this year from June through November. Exciting news, our Mini Mulligans, one of our 9-hole Junior Tour divisions, is making its return this season. It was canceled last year due to COVID. I'm very excited again to have that back and to continue our opportunities for our juniors of all ages and abilities. Just want to encourage you all again, as you have shown your support through and through, just to encourage your juniors to consider our Junior Tour when you're looking for events this year. And also don't forget that our PGA members do receive free Junior Tour memberships for their children. Just want to just go over a few of our benefits here through our Junior Tours. Each Junior Tour member receives discounted prices and gains registration access to our entire Junior Tour season and our schedule. And just want to announce as well that we're continuing our partnership with Junior Golf Hub. It's a company that really offers a lot of developmental opportunities and resources for our juniors that are transitioning into college and collegiate golf. Every Junior Tour member will receive a free membership for that, so that's very exciting. And we also just want to encourage year in, year out, any of our juniors and families that you may have that are in need of financial assistance. We want to encourage for them to apply for our Tee It Up scholarship that provides financial assistance for those in need. This scholarship specifically includes our Junior Tour membership and fees to include up to 5 additional entries there. So very exciting for that. We want your juniors to take full advantage of that. And just the last slide that I have here, obviously with more events kind of coming up on our schedule, just with everything, with the new schedules for our events coming in, we had a few things just kind of come back in with scheduling. So we're excited just to kind of announce some of our events are going back to their traditional schedule there. So obviously, as you see, some of our spring events are coming back in here. So our PGA Pure Silk Junior Invitational at Kingsmill for April 24th and 25th. Heading back to the U.S. Naval Academy, June 21st and 22nd. Very excited about that for our Billy Hurley Invitational. We are having our sectional qualifier for the Junior PGA Championship at Laurel Hill Golf Club, June 29th and 30th. Very thankful there for Laurel Hill to host that event this year. Our Capital Cup, now making the runs to Maryland, will be at the Links of Perry Cabin, August 7th and 8th. And then just kind of finishing up there, one of our major events, the Denny McCarthy Invitational at the Argyle Country Club, September 11th and 12th. And just kind of the last note I wanted to add is, again, thank you to all of our professionals that have showed continuous support in hosting. I know sometimes it's not easy. I really appreciate all the effort that you have all given to me during this process. And if anyone is interested in hosting an event for even this year or in 2022, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and be happy to work with everyone. And again, thanks Josh for the time. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Colin. Continuing our committee reports on behalf of the tournament committee, Chair Kevin Haney is recording an update that includes changes to the upcoming season. Please watch.
Good morning, Mr. President and members and apprentices. Ideally not the way we want to do this meeting, not being in person, but hopefully we'll be there soon. Hope everybody's safe, hope everybody's healthy, and hope everybody's excited for a 2021 season. I know 2020 was busy and it was a great outlet for everybody, but really looking forward to 2021 and hopefully getting back to normalcy pretty soon. Just a few things on the tournament committee to talk about. We have an exciting thing coming back with the Chapter Challenge. We actually have a sponsor, Global Golf. I want to thank them for their support. We're going to bring back the Chapter Challenge in the fall. Details will be sent out, but it'll be the 3 chapters: Northern Chapter, Central Chapter, Southern Chapter match. Fortunately, we get to host it at Spring Creek Golf Club, but more details will follow on that, but look forward to hosting the Chapter Challenge again. So keep informed on that. Keep more information follow how the teams will be set up. And again, thank you to Global Golf. A couple items to talk about with the changes for the 2021 season. Shorts policy that's been in place for the last couple of years has changed just slightly. We are going to allow shorts throughout the season. Same stipulation would apply as long as the facility will allow them and the sponsor will allow them. There is no restriction as far as time frame. No longer are they allowed just in June, July, or August, but they'll be allowed to be worn anytime as long as the host facility is allowing it. Cart rules for 2021. For team events, players will have the option of riding in the same cart. For non-team events, there will be option for players signing up if they feel comfortable riding in a cart with another fellow competitor. The staff will do their best to accommodate pairings based on selected cart preference. Match play format, there will be no qualifying round. This was necessary in 2020 due to COVID protocols, but the tournament committee has decided to make this change permanent. Seeds will be determined based on open player of the year points. New players coming to the section will be seeded at the end of the player of the year points. The defending champ will still be the #1 seed. Let's see here. We have Golf Genius. We have switched over from Blue Golf to Golf Genius this year. There's been a lot of communications going out. Make sure you get on there, sign up, put your stuff in there so that Eric and Bob can update those informations quickly. But Golf Genius is going to be great. Most of us have it at their facilities now, but for live scoring, registration, everything's going to be a lot cleaner, and so we're glad to be part of Golf Genius. Have any questions as far as Golf Genius, please contact Bob Hines or Eric Southard. But we are very excited about using Golf Genius. Believe another great benefit to our tournaments. Player of the Year points for national events. Obviously, there was some confusion as to which cut to award Player of the Year points for at national events, as some of them have multiple cuts. The tournament committee decided to stay with the current policy that awards Player of the Year points for making the 36-hole first cut. That's about all I have as far as changes for the 2021 season. Obviously, policies that we have in place will be fluid throughout the year based on how COVID protocols change. Really want to thank our staff for a successful 2020 season. Obviously the participation was up a little bit once we got going. No issues, no viruses, no contacts throughout the season. I think that says a lot about our players, abiding by those rules and regulations, the policies that we put in place, and a big thank you goes out to our staff at the MAPGA section office, Bob Hines and Eric Southern especially. Thanks to our tournament committee for all the support, all their input, trying to make section events, chapter events, the best we can for our section. Thanks to all of our sponsors, and look forward to a great 2021 season. Hope everybody gets out and plays a couple times. Make that your New Year's resolution in February or March, but let's get out and play a little bit more. That's what we got in this business for. Play with our members, play a few events, get out and meet everybody, and have a great, successful 2021 season. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Mr. President. Hope to see everybody soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kevin, for that update. Next, since there are a number of important updates in the area of player development, I've asked MAPGA Honorary President JP Lund to assist in providing these updates.
Thank you, Josh. Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody's doing well on this soggy Monday. So I'd like to begin by introducing a video from Committee Chair John Oberle, who's going to speak briefly on player development programs.
Hello, my name is John Oberle, PGA Head Golf Professional at Mount Vernon Country Club. I want to talk to you today about a few player development offerings that you may be doing at your facility, and some of those that may be new to your facility that you should be doing this year to engage your members and customers. First, PGA Junior League. By now, I will assume that you are aware of this program. PGA Junior League exists to bring communities together through fun, team golf experience. PGA Junior League utilizes two-person scramble format during matches. By having a teammate on the golf course, we expect our players to learn the game, build confidence, encourage mentorship, and promote sportsmanship. PGA Family Cup. This is a newer program. Golf has the opportunity to be a family sport. Multi-generations with families and friends to be able to learn, play, and enjoy the game together. PGA Family Cup exists to transform communities to bring families together around this great sport. We imagine the future with numerous opportunities for families to participate. While a traditional parent-child team of 2, you can also have up to 6 family members as long as 1 adult and 1 child are under 18. So think grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and even more. They're all playing on the same team. And last, doubles golf. Doubles golf is the new trademark for rebranding of a 2-player scramble format. 9-hole round creates speed play and the opportunity for evening events. Please, for more information on these player development events and opportunities, refer to mapga.com and contact Claire Jensen, the section office, if you have any questions. Thank you for the time today.
Thank you, John. It's my pleasure to highlight a wonderful opportunity for MAPGA members. Every year, the Players Development Committee and Junior Golf Committee meet and award a total of $25,000 to MAPGA members to help grow the player development programs at the facility. The 2021 Player Development Grant process saw a record number of preliminary applications with 45 applications received, totaling over 121,000 requested funds. On February 16th, the joint Junior Golf and Player Development Committee met to deliberate the 26 secondary applications that were submitted, totaling almost $75,000 in requested funds. After painstaking deliberation, the Joint Committee awarded 17 grants, totaling a few bucks less than $25,000. Please join me in congratulating each of these PGA members for their programs and getting through the very competitive process. Next, I'd like to introduce your regional league manager, Doug Wirt, who also has a recorded update. Please send in your questions for Doug via the chat so that he will be able to immediately answer the questions following the video.
On behalf of the Coaching and Player Development Department, I would like to welcome you to the 2021 season. I hope all of you are doing well, have gotten some rest, and are ready for the 2021 season. I know that 2020 was a challenging year, but also an exciting year with the increase in participation at your facilities. I am looking forward to maintaining the momentum and to the opportunities that 2021 will provide for all of us. I'm here as a resource to help you continue to provide new coaching and player development ideas and platforms to help you create value for your facilities and for you. My continued commitment is to help you create more value by understanding you and your facility. Along with Claire Jansa, we can use our learnings about you, your facility, and player development goals to continue success and the growth of the game that we all love. We can do this by implementation of platforms that work best for your facility, your members and guests, and for you. Our flagship program continues to be PGA Junior League. Even with the pandemic in 2020, we still had over 1,800 players in the Mid-Atlantic PGA and over 37,000 players across the country. You know, we conducted a survey of parents of registered players from 2020. The main result to note is that 90% of the parents that responded supported returning to play and felt that it was safe for their kids. 2021 registration for players has already opened. We are definitely seeing that parents are ready for their kids to play and enjoy the program. As of February 22nd, registration for players is up over 70% from this time last year in the nation and up over 47% in the Middle Atlantic PGA. You know, we learned a lot from the 2020 season due to feedback from captains and parents. We took those learnings to apply more flexibility at the local league level for PGA Junior League. We have reduced the number of players needed for an official league, as well as flexibility of number of players on a team for matches. If you'd like to hear more about this, please reach out to Claire or myself to learn more. This week, Claire and I will be arranging the leagues for the 2021 season. If you want to participate, please register your facility today. If you have any questions or need help, please let us know. We are really excited to announce that we now offer PGA Family Cup in all sections across the country. You know, in sports, your team is your family. With the PGA Family Cup, your family is your team. You know, golf is a game for a lifetime, and PGA Family Cup teams are multi-generational. Think grandparents, aunts, uncles, moms, dads, children, cousins, and more, all playing on the same team. PGA Family Cup brings the entire family together, golfers or not, and creates lifelong memories in a fun, new, and meaningful way. One testimonial from a Family Cup participant said, "I told my grandson that this was the greatest day in golf I've ever had. The most important thing is I had my whole family with me, those that weren't playing or even following us around all 9 holes on the carts." You know, PGA Family Cup strengthens relationships, create lifetime golfers, and builds vibrant communities at your facility. PGA professionals can build their business by giving clinics and lessons to the family members who don't golf or want to improve their game before or after participating in PGA Family Cup event or a series of events, and then use this momentum to keep them engaged after the event or series is over at your facility. Please take a look at the website PGA Family Cup to learn more and to register your facility. If you have more questions, please let myself or Claire know. And then lastly, I wanted to remind you to complete the training for PGA.Coach. It is a vehicle directed at the golf industry to help understand the American Development Model principles and how to apply them with your members and guests. It also provides the ultimate coaching resource app, which features tools for lesson planning, note-taking, and assessment tools for golfers of all ages and skill levels. A lifetime coaching relationship, we know, is much more valuable than the transactional lesson model. The ADM model focuses on coaching, providing the right experiences at the right time. You know, when that happens to consumers, retention is definitely much more likely. Go to PGA.Coach for more information and to start the free training today. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share with you today. Claire and I are here to help you with growth of the game and coaching programs in this section, and please reach out to let us know how we can help. I want to leave you today with a quote from Henry Ford and encourage you to maintain the momentum, keep thinking outside the box, and find ways to take advantage of the growth we are seeing to pave the way for the future. Thank you so much, and thank your teams at your facilities for all you do. I want to wish you an amazing 2021.
Thank you, Doug. As a reminder, if you have any questions for Doug, please enter them into the chat now. In the meantime, I want to remind everyone of the player development offerings and resources document that was emailed to you recently. Reference this document, which will be edited as updates become available. This is a great resource. John, did we receive any other questions for Doug?
We did not, but Claire just posted that document that was emailed to the chat. It's a Google link, so people can link on it to get it and save it if they'd like.
Okay.
Thank you for that video, Doug. Next, just a quick update on behalf of the sponsorship committee. The section is projecting to have between 40 and 45 sponsors for 2021. Some of our new section partners include Golfdom, Golf Pro Payments, today's meeting sponsor, the Trade-In Guys, Swing Golf Ireland, and Pacekeeper Golf. We're very fortunate for the hard work that has led to these sponsorships, but we could always use more support from sponsors, even non-traditional sponsors from outside the golf industry. If you have any other sponsor referrals, please pass them on to Bob or Andrew here at the section office. Speaking of sponsors, please watch this video from one of our longtime sponsors, Signature Golf.
Good morning, Middle Atlantic PGA. It's your friends and trusted travel partners once again from Signature Golf. We are bringing you the most exciting news. Right now, you can book for only $750 due at the time of booking for any 2021 or 2022 domestic or international trip. We're ready to provide you with the latest travel trends for 2021 and 2022. Trending in 2021 is domestic travel. So if you have yet to book your tee time, now is the time to give us a call and schedule your trip. Whether you're headed out west to Napa Valley, the Monterey Peninsula, places like Pebble Beach, Bandon Dunes, or you're heading over to the East Coast to visit the likes of Kiowa Island, Trump Doral, or all the domestic destinations in between. Signature Golf is excited to get you booked, again, for only $750 down. Without a doubt, trending in 2022 is international golf travel. And that includes the return of the Open Championship to its home at St. Andrews. We at Signature Golf are thrilled to be an authorized provider of open hospitality packages and have 3 amazing choices for you to choose from. International tee times for 2022 are filling up fast, and you only need $750 down to book your trip through July 31st. Reserve your tee time today on the world's best courses. PGA professionals enjoy excellent benefits through our incentive program. For example, if Signature Golf sets up a trip for you and your membership, you not only earn a complimentary trip and airfare voucher, but you'll also earn $1,575 cash in hand. For 14 traveling guests, for 23 clients, it's your trip and your choice. The sky's the limit. Signature Golf also provides your section with a cash incentive per traveler for each trip that you book with us. With so much to look forward to on the horizon, Signature Golf and our team are excited to get something on the books for you in 2021 and 2022. Contact your representative today and let's get you started.
Thank you for the information, everyone. Thank you to Signature Golf. I'm hoping myself to be able to make a trip with them this August that got postponed from 2020 over to Southwest Ireland. So now for my report, I'd like to start out. It's saying to my fellow officers this morning, it's hard to believe that I'm already 2/3 of the way through my term here as president. I've been involved in PGA governance since starting on the chapter level in 2007. So that's 15 years. And I can't overstate how impactful this has been on my career as a PGA professional. Both locally, getting to know the men and women in our section through the chapter, through the committees, playing in tournaments and whatnot, serving here in the boardroom, and then representing you on the national stage at our annual meetings. Obviously, as you know, it's been mentioned a couple of times today that we've got elections coming up in the fall, and that'll be here before you know it. So if you have any thoughts about getting involved, please, I urge you to reach out to your chapter officers, reach out to myself or our section officers to answer any questions. I would really urge, if you have any thought of doing so, please consider running. We need you in here. We want to have a representative voice at the chapter and section level. We've got several open seats that'll be coming up for election. So please consider that. Moving forward, every year, there are acts of kindness that I witness or I hear about from professionals all across the section, especially supporting fellow PGA professionals. There are countless examples that I could share with you today, but I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge a few of the many who have stepped up to support fellow member David Hutzel. As many of you know, David is bravely battling cancer, and those that you see on the screen immediately jumped into action to help organize fundraisers with proceeds to the Hutzel family, to help with David's volunteer duties for the chapter, and much more. And we acknowledge that there were others who stepped up and donated, who participated in a tournament, and much more. We thank you and appreciate each of you. We look forward to David's full recovery, and in the meantime, I've been impressed that he's been participating in virtual section education offerings, even while receiving his chemo treatments. Don't forget that registration for next Monday's MAPGA Virtual Teaching Summit ends this Friday, March 5th at noon. This event includes top industry experts for the extremely affordable price of $10. It was not a typo when Mark Russo said that in the report. This summit will be eligible for MSR credits for those attending the entire session live, and register today at mapga.com. This year's employment summit, as Jay Duffy mentioned, will feature a mock interview and thoughts on trends and happenings in the employment arena. We'll talk about difficulties in hiring assistant professionals and other helpful tips, as well as strategies to improve your chance of getting hired. I've attended this in person the last few years at Columbia, and I really hope we can get a good audience there. If you haven't been able to do one of these, especially this year, please log on, register for that. I think you'll get a lot out of it. Don't forget to register for that free event as well. Next, the PGA Financial Assistance Fund, or as we call it, the PGA Family Scholarship, which was established in 1986 and provides college scholarships to children and grandchildren of PGA members. Since its inception, the PGA of America has awarded over 3,000 scholarships, totaling just over $7.5 million. The deadline for this scholarship application window has been extended to April 5th. Those not chosen to receive a national scholarship will be considered for the Bill Deck Fred Funk Family Scholarship at the section level. If you have a child or a grandchild who might be eligible, I encourage you to apply. Please visit pga.org for more information. Finally, for my last update in the President's report, I'm excited to announce that the MAPGA website is going through a redesign. The new website is planned to launch on March 17th, and new enhanced features will include an easy-to-use interface, mobile responsiveness, and easy-to-access member login that corresponds to your pga.org login. Regarding the reports of the directors, section committee chairs, executive director, and myself, you've had the meeting reports booklet emailed to you and posted online prior to today's meeting. If you have questions of a general nature regarding these reports, they should be asked during either unfinished business, new business, or open forum, whichever is appropriate. If there are any specific questions of any of the officers, directors, committee chairs, or the executive director, please type them in the chat now. I will entertain a motion for the meeting to accept all the reports as presented. Tommy Smith. Do I have a motion? If so, please enter your name full in the chat. Mark Russo, thank you. Do I have a second? Please enter your name. Jeremy Griner. If you're in favor, you do not need to do anything. Just if you're opposed, enter your full name and the word nay in the chat. All right, the motion passes. Ms. Secretary, is there any unfinished business? If not, I'll move on to new business.
There is not.
Thank you. Ms. Secretary, do we have any new business?
There is not.
All right. We will now move into the open forum session. Please enter any open forum items into the chat now. Executive Director John Gould will read those items. As individuals continue entering those items, I just want to get you pumped up for the fact that the MAPGA is hosting a major next year with the Kpmg Women's Championship at Congressional. We will be needing volunteers. Please watch the short sizzle video.
Wins the Kpmg Women's PGA Championship. One of the LPGA and PGA club professionals in the field this week.
Tremendous.
Here to talk is the Kpmg Women's PGA Champion. Brooke Henderson closes out Lydia Ko with a birdie in the first playoff hole. What a clutch up and down for Hannah Green from down under. 19 under, 5-shot victory.
Tap in putt, and Se-Young Kim is now a major champion.
Executive Director Gould, I think I saw a few things coming through in the chat there.
Correct. I'm going to start with Alan Ranowski. Thanks, Alan, for submitting a submission for open forum. On behalf of Lieutenant Colonel Dan Rooney, Tony Beata. I think Dan is a colonel now, though, isn't he, Alan? I'm not sure. I think he got promoted. But anyway, Dan Rooney, Tony Beata, and myself being Alan, thank you and your facilities for supporting the mission of the Folds of Honor. We were able to award roughly 4,500 scholarships last year through the efforts of outstanding patriots. While this is great news, we still have about 1,000 qualified applicants that we could not honor. Last year, we had to shift Patriot Golf Day to Labor Day due to COVID, but this year we are full gear for Memorial Day weekend. Events that weekend will support Folds of Honor and PGA Hope. That is new this year, so this is my own editorial here, but that event will sponsor both Folds of Honor and PGA Hope. So we're excited about that. By week's end, we will have a new site for Patriot Golf Day and Folds of Honor Golf. Go to foldsofhonor.org, then hit the golf tab. You can register and have access to numerous resources to help maximize your fundraising. And don't forget, you get 2 MSRs for fundraising. I'm your regional contact, meaning Alan. So never hesitate to reach out to me anytime. aranowski@foldsofhonor.org. And God bless our military of this great country and you. So thank you for that, Alan. Couple more items. Greg Stenzel just texted in just to make sure you knew the names of those that are helping with the Employment Summit. Todd Smith, Tim Marks, Keith Soriano, Jonathan Gold, Jim West, and our own Greg Stenzel. We're doing a mock interview with Michael Mock. And no, that's not why it's called a mock interview. That's a slightly different name. So we're looking forward to that. Jeremy Griner had a question that Don or John might be able to answer. I'm not sure because it's specific to the MAPGA. Can we get an idea of how many MAPGA pros use the virtual merchandise show to meet with reps and if they felt that was useful? I think you might have a better answer of how many nationwide maybe met with the reps and used the virtual merchandise show. I know the education portion was popular, but if one of you can unmute and let us know if you know anything about that.
I've got some numbers, John, if you don't have them. It's, there were 192 educational sessions at the virtual PGA merchandise show. 10,768 attendees, 6,585 of those, I believe, were PGA members and LPGA members. That's about as precise as they got with the numbers. I will tell you, Reed does these expos, and they had to do them virtually across the nation for many different industries. And this was the most successful show they had. So testament to our golf professionals, logging in, going through the educational and talking to the vendors. John, you got any other further details on that?
No, I'll check to see if we get breakdown by sections in case other other sections want to know about
The
that.
question was specifically, obviously Jeremy's a sales rep. The question was specifically how many used the sales rep portion, not just the education, actually meeting with customers. Anecdotally, in talking to our pros, I found that not many of them used that week for that, because they could do that at any time, right? If they wanted to meet with Jeremy or another one of our reps, they could do that on, a random Tuesday and didn't have to be that week. So that's my assumption there, but thank you for maybe checking into that.
John, let me look. I just looked at Dan Baker's report that he sent us last week, and it said that I'm not going to get a specific for Middle Atlantic, but there were 4,967 meetings requested. There were 1,376 meetings confirmed, and there were 34,555 visits to the showroom during the show.
Okay, thank you. That's good information. Let's see, open forum from Doug Wirt. I probably could have just let him speak this, but anyway, he'd like to remind everybody that you need to complete captain registration today so that Doug and Claire may start forming leagues. Also, the 17U is available this year for Junior League. It does have a regional playoffs. That's correct, Doug. You can nod if you. It does have a regional playoffs, not national championship. It does have a regional playoffs this year, so that's a little bit more than we've done in the past for 17U. And then also PGA Family Cup is open for registration. So Claire and Doug are always available to answer your questions. Claire posted the link to the Google. You might have to scroll up a little bit in your chat, but she posted a link that you can read all the information about all of our programs. Kevin Haney, our tournament chair, wisely put in. Can I mention the MAPGA Pro-Am at Kohler? So we are still planning on hosting our travel Pro-Am at Kohler. It's the week following the Ryder Cup. It will be the first public play allowed on the golf course following the Ryder Cup, our groups. So we really encourage you to get a team together, and it's domestic travel, should be fairly easy. We're hoping you can get a team together and make that trip go off. We're having trouble getting those trips to go off. We almost got that one to Georgia, but we could use your help trying to get a team together and getting to that event. And I think that is all of the open forum, Mr. President.
All right, I've got a couple other things to go through here, and we'll see if any more come through. As we wait for additional items to be shared in open forum, please don't forget to register for the following upcoming MAPGA virtual events: the Teaching Summit and the Employment Summit. Registration deadlines are fast approaching, so register today. Also, save the date for your upcoming spring chapter meeting. Registration will open tomorrow, March 2nd. There will be chapter specific and different updates provided at these meetings, so please be on the lookout for an email inviting you to register. I don't know if Quinn Sullivan is logged in here today, but I just want to mention that the Bobby Bowers is back this year at Springfield. We took 2020 off because of COVID, but the 46th annual Bobby Bowers will be held July 12th to the 15th, and that's for boys and girls ages 10 to 18. Executive Director Gould, do we have any additional items entered into the chat feature for open forum?
Nope, it looks like we're done there.
All right, as we wait for any final items, I'd like to introduce our staff who are in this virtual meeting as well. First, I'd like to welcome our new MAPGA intern, Talton Cherry. Talton joins the section as a 9-month intern in the junior golf program. He recently received his graduate degree from the University of San Francisco. Talton also served in the U.S. Coast Guard for 4 years and has even helped run PGA Hope events in the Northern California section. Welcome, Talton. Next, Ben Smith, our communications manager, and Andrew Gridley, our director of business affairs, both entering their 2nd year. We have 3 staff entering their 3rd season or year with us. Those are Claire Jansa, a PGA member, who's our PGA development coordinator, Colin Elphick, our junior golf director, and Christine Alonso, our membership director. Next, Eric Southard, our assistant tournament director, 8 years with the section overall. Bob Heinz, who's a PGA member in his 2nd year as assistant executive director and 3rd year as tournament director, 16 years overall with the section. And finally, John Gould, who's been with this section 26 years, is entering his 10th year as executive director. Thank you to all of our staff. I know several of our speakers today have mentioned it. Our board really works through the staff, and they've just been incredible this year, dealing with a lot of adaptations and variabilities, trying to make this year as beneficial to the members as we can. Lastly, any final items for open forum, John?
No, other than Carrie, I believe Hodgson, but I'm not sure, commenting on the looks of our group. But no, I think we're good. Thank you. And thank you, Carrie.
All right. Having not received any more, we will move to adjourn the meeting. Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting? If so, please enter your full name in the chat. John Seward, my assistant, thank you. Do I have a second? If so, please enter your name.
Bill
All right,
Ramsey.
one in there. Thank you. If you're in favor, you do not need to enter anything. I'll oppose, enter your full name and name in the chat. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon and thank you for logging in. Hopefully we'll see you here in a few weeks at the virtual summits and the chapter meetings. Meeting is adjourned.